Coming up on the Magic Hour podcast, I'm joined first by Bobby Brabson, talking about the Masters this coming weekend, the final major of the season, who the frontrunners are, who the underdogs are, who can make a run on the final day. Go through a few of the odds of the most intriguing golfers. Then I'm joined by Xavier Gomez. We talk about the NBA draft, what the Warriors should do with their number 2 pick, what potential trades we could see happen if they decide to trade the pick, and if they decide to keep it and make that pick, who we think fits the team best in this upcoming draft, and what we think they'll do with that pick. Then, of course, $5 picks. Week 10, Xavier joins me, Jay, and Brad. Do a little bit of a 4-team $5 picks this week. We talk about Cardinals facing the Bills, Chargers versus Miami Dolphins, a bit of a rookie QB matchup there. Seahawks, Rams, and then finally the Vikings versus the Bears. Should be a fun one. Good week of football. Let's get it started. It is Movember, ladies and gentlemen. That means that I have a mustache again. For those of you who are watching on the YouTube channel, it's pretty glorious. It's only a weekend, so it's kind of some baby hairs, but support prostate cancer. The Masters is coming this weekend. First round is this Thursday. If you're listening to this on the day it comes out, it's today, the 12th. Bobby Brabson's with me again. Bobby, Masters in November, kind of weird, but kind of cool. I don't know. It's always this time of year where I'm missing major season already. We're a couple months away or a couple months out, and it's just finally we have to wait a whole 8 months for more competitive golf again. This is a bummer.
Yeah, no, it definitely is kind of cool to that it's now, and then you just kind of turn right around, and then April comes and it's the Masters again. So
yeah,
it's kind of cool, but it's just I feel bad for all these sports just because NFL just dominates the fall, and it's just kind of every other sport just falls by the wayside. Whether it was baseball at the World Series, even the NBA Finals, just everything just comes second to football. And so I think especially if there's a close final round on Sunday, it's just not going to get the attention it deserves just because it's NFL football Sunday.
I mean, I will be watching, but when the Raiders come on, it's definitely going on TV number 2 as opposed to the main TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe that's a reason why we as golf fans appreciate majors more, because it's in the middle of summer when the only sport going on is baseball. So it's it actually brings some more competitive drive out of us. Oh yeah, something that's where the stakes are higher, a sports competition where the stakes are higher finally in the middle of the summer when it's just dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. Because and it's just your brain just gets programmed to oh, Masters in April, US Open June, Open in July, PGA. It's just your brain gets wired that way. So then they're oh, the Masters is this weekend in November. You're wait, what?
Yeah. And on top of that, I mean, the weather is a huge concern. I was looking it up before we came on, and it looks like it's going to be it's a thunderstorm on Thursday, and then it's supposed to be raining all weekend. Raining, 30% chance of rain on Friday, 60% chance of rain on Saturday, 40% chance of rain on Sunday. I mean, there's a possibility this could be moved to the following weekend.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, and the weather's definitely going to be a big factor. I mean, just the time of year too. I mean, they're used to playing in April where things are kind of starting to warm up, whereas now things get a little bit cooler, which usually it would firm up the greens a little bit. But if they play in this rain, I mean, the course is going to be so soggy and soft that I think you could see a lot of low scores.
I'm trying to think of times when we've had where they've been forced to play through the rain. And even last year with Tigers win, I remember, I think it was on Saturday, they tried to beat the rain, so they started super fucking early, as opposed to just try to play through it. I don't know how strict they are as like, where baseball they're super strict when it comes to rain. Football they just don't give a shit. You play whatever. I don't really know how it works with golf because the ball's so small, so you have to keep an eye on it, which is going to be hard to do with rain. But also, like at the same time, it doesn't like it's not like a ball's flying at your face like baseball, where it's like dangerous. It's just tougher conditions. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, obviously thunderstorms they would cancel, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
And Augusta National Course, like they're probably gonna be pissed that it could tear up their course too. I just thought of that. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah, no, and especially if they're going to do a quick turnaround and have the Masters right again in April, it's only what 5 months that they would have to get it fixed if it does get torn up this weekend. So yeah, that's a pretty big story to watch. Is just like how the actual course is going to be.
If you live in Georgia and you're an Augusta member, how pissed would you be if you see that on Sunday they're just tearing up this course and they're just playing through it? Like, would you be just
God
living?
Damn it! I got a tea time Monday.
I feel like that'd be hilarious, dude. I mean, especially tomorrow. So I know they're doing practice rounds today. I was having it on like in the background while I was working earlier. No rain today, but I mean, tomorrow is 80% chance, and there's going to be a massive storm. Like, that's going to set it up for Thursday to be bad. We could see some pretty, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the cut is at like +4 on Saturday, just because the conditions are so bad and everybody's just hitting the ball all over the course.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing too, I mean, I felt like the reason that they do tournaments over the weekend is that they want fans, and then they want the fans aren't going to be there. So I'm wondering if they maybe just push it back, just push everything back, and they'll be like, all right, hey, we're starting Monday now. And we're just doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Just because like the weather next week looks a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't want to give up those time slots.
It's sunny Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, it's partly cloudy, but it'll at least dry up some of the rain from the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to watch. I think the other thing, we're talking weather already, just the fact that we just had daylight savings time, like the sun goes down at like 5 o'clock, and so like dude. I feel like guys normally aren't finishing their rounds until after 7, and so like I don't know if they're going to be starting guys earlier or what they're doing to combat that, or is there maybe there's less players in the field, but yeah, it's like. You gotta like those late guys are gonna be rushing to get through their rounds before they beat the darkness.
I would imagine they start early, which sucks for guys like you on the East Coast. You're probably gonna, if you want to catch any of it, you're probably gonna have to wake up a little bit earlier. I mean, it looks out for us. We get a couple hours, but yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I don't know how big the field is. I
think I saw there's 93 players, but I don't know how that compares. Or 92 players.
That seems pretty small to me.
Yeah, I don't know how that compares to like last year's field.
Well, so the highest odd player right now is Larry Mizze. Don't know who that is. Miz M-I-Z-E. I'm sure you don't know who he is either. Anyway, and his odds are 2,000 to 1. If anyone is out there and looking for a more or less a Hail Mary bet, there's your guy right there. I'm looking at this list. It's not like counted out, but there's a lot, but it doesn't feel like as much as it normally is. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm very curious to see as well. But back to the weather and daylight savings. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about daylight savings. So it's interesting that they decided to go for November. I know we talked about this last time. The Masters was the first one to reschedule their tournament because they tried to get it to where it was reasonably like
far out from what they thought would be like the end of COVID, which there's really no end.
Yeah, but looks like it's biting them in the ass now.
Yeah, I think they were the ones that were like initially, as soon as they canceled it, they were like, "We're doing it in November," and then they just haven't moved off of that. So
yeah,
everyone else kind of like worked around them.
Dude, it's 92% humidity.
That's a muggy tournament.
Yeah, and it's
warm rain.
It's supposed to be thunderstorms on Wednesday and Thursday, 77 and 81 degrees with 92% humidity. God, that sounds just excuse me. From someone who just came from Florida, that sounds fucking awful. That sounds worse than Florida, dude. I was there this past weekend for work in Tampa, and on Saturday or Sunday It was pouring rain all day, but it was 81 degrees. So like you put on your jacket to like protect yourself from the rain, and then you just start sweating like crazy under your jacket. And this is like a thin raincoat. Like it's just literally just a layer of water resistant fabric. That's literally all it is. And you're still, because it suffocates your body, so you just start, I felt like a wrestler like trying to cut weight. Like you're just sweating so much underneath it, and you're like, fuck this, I'd rather just get wet because it's gonna cool me off a little bit. But then you feel the rain, and it's like warm rain, so it doesn't cool you off at all. It's just there's no escaping it. This sounds like I would not want to golf in this weather. That's basically what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, no.
Do you want to talk about the field a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, they got everybody. It looks like everyone in the top 10's playing, which is huge.
Yeah. So the big thing that I wanted to bring up, because I was talking to a couple friends about it the other day. Obviously golf has kind of like fallen off the radar. Like you said, football started. The NBA was, and baseball just finished. So like not a lot of, and you know, the last two Masters were 2 months ago. So like not many people are tuning in on Sunday on Golf Channel to watch the AT&T Open or the Houston Open or whatever, which me and you haven't really either. Me and you kind of like more box score type of guys when in terms of smaller tournaments. But a lot of guys are hyped on Brooks, but Brooks is still injured. So a lot of people don't realize this, and his betting odds are kind of reflective of that a little bit, but still kind of not. So number one favorite in the odds right now is Bryson DeChambeau. He's 8-1 odds. Brooks is number 6 at 16-1. I'm telling you right now, if you guys are golf bettors, do not make that bet. Brooks is not going to play well this weekend. He still has this nagging back injury. I don't know. I mean, do you think that he can overcome this? Augusta's one of those courses where it's like, it's relentless. If you start out bad, it's hard to come back. Like every hole just feels like it gets tougher and tougher.
Yeah, no, and I think with Koepka too, I feel like just his like demeanor, he just doesn't see, like, he's a phenomenal golfer, but he doesn't just seem to have that same kind of like push through whatever instinct like Tiger would, and or guys like that. So yeah, I would stay away from that definitely at 16-1. There's just too many other good golfers in the field that. And if he's hurt and not, if he's not hitting the ball well on Thursday, like there's a good chance he may not even make it to Saturday.
Yeah. And another thing about this course is that like experience is like really important, I feel like, because just to know how the course is laid out with those later holes and knowing that like if you start off like you finish the front 9 2 over, knowing which holes you need to capitalize on the back, like hole 12 is a famous one for that. I think it was hole like, I want to say it's 16. Was that the one that John Rahm skipped over the? I think it's 16. I can't remember, but yeah, today so in the practice round, if you guys haven't checked it out, look it up. You should Google it. John Rahm, hit a ball which he skipped across the pond, literally like skipping a rock, instead of hitting it over it, and he skipped it across and went up, popped up off the water onto the green and rolled into a hole in one. It was the most amazing thing ever. So like, I mean, I was hearing this from a couple people. Bubba Watson is an intriguing person to look at this weekend. Patrick Reed, Adam Scott. Strictly on their experience, all three of those guys have not been playing well, except for Patrick Reed. But like, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say Bubba Watson was gonna be someone I was gonna put as like a potential sleeper. I mean, he's a 2-time Masters champion, so it's hard to say he's really a sleeper. But
yeah,
I mean, he hasn't had the best year. But yeah, like you said, he knows Augusta, and like just like the way that he plays, just like kind of that, I'll just figure it out. Just get up. And there's no shot that he can't hit pretty much. I think he'll always be kind of in the running at Augusta. And yeah, Patrick Reed's had a great year. I think he's going to be one of those that's just going to always be in the mix. And then the Adam Scott, I'll be honest, I have not heard a lot from Adam Scott the past couple of years. I'm not sure how he's been finishing to even know how he would do here. But yeah, I mean, any of those guys, I feel like that have played Augusta a bunch are going to be the ones that are going to have the best shot. Because you got so many young guys now. Like you've got Morikawa, Matthew Wolf. These younger guys that have maybe only played it a couple times in a tournament style. So yeah, my pick I think is going to be a veteran that has been there before. Maybe not necessarily one, but it's been there enough times.
Interesting. So you're previewing who your pick is right now. Okay, I like it. Yeah, I don't know, man. His Bubba's thing for a long time was always his power off the tee, and he could always like kind of make up for whatever bad shot he had. But I just don't know with the weather concerns this weekend if that's going to get him out of it. But I will say that, and like, because his emotions do get the best of him sometimes on the course. But if he's playing well, he thrives under that. So we'll see what happens with that. I wouldn't be surprised either. Adam Scott has been playing. So he had a lot of issues when they outlawed the long putter. Because remember that was he was like famously the last one to still use it. Mm-hmm. But about a year ago, they allowed it back, and his game is completely improved, and his putting is dramatically improved. Like this season, he's playing a lot better. So I definitely he was the guy who I was going to tell people on this podcast, like, look out for him. He could definitely make a run. He is having a huge comeback season. His putting again much better. So I think that leads to, since we're talking about like experience, we might as well just talk about, for the common golf fans, let's just talk about Tiger and Phil, because everybody's going to want to know how they're going to do. I don't know. I mean, Tiger's season is all over the place. I'm not too confident with him. Phil seems like age is really getting the best of him.
Yeah, I just don't have any confidence really in Phil anymore. I mean, you said, his age is just kind of catching up to him, and I mean, not that Tiger's young, but it's hard to say that he's got no shot when he just won last year.
Tiger's in better shape though. He's a physical like machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I think he'll, if he makes it, to the weekend and is within that top 10, it's just always
he's always got a shot.
It may not be the same as it once was, where guys are like looking over their shoulder, like, shit, here comes Tiger, but
yeah.
He's still there, and it's still Augusta. Like Augusta, what was it, his fifth that he won there last year? That was his fifth green jacket. So it's just like, that's, especially if it's some of these younger guys, like that's gonna be in their minds that the Tiger's on the prowl.
Yeah. I see what you did there. I mean, it kills me with Phil, dude. It really does. He's my favorite golfer of all time. So it sucks to see him do this, or to see the decline. But like, there's just no path for him. Like, it's just at this point, like, fans just start looking forward to the match every season, because that's going to be his only showcase.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll do great, if he does the senior tour. But yeah, I just don't think he's. I just don't know that he's got it for the PGA Tour anymore.
Yeah. All right. So who's your top contenders then?
So, I mean, the obvious one, he's a betting favorite, and just what he's been doing this season. But Bryson's got to be in the conversation.
But do you think his game translates to Augusta?
See, that's the thing. It's like, because Augusta's one of those. It's like an older course, and so it's not built with like some of these like really long holes that are intimidating. So if he goes in there with that same attitude, and he's like I saw they were interviewing him, and he's like, yeah, all I've been doing is driving. He's like, I think I can get it 400 yards in the air.
That's not going to help you here, man.
But I don't know, like, if he's out there and he's on like a 500, like just like a straight like 500, 490 yard par 5, and then he's sitting one with 75 yards to go, like, if he's just out hitting everybody. But I mean, Augusta, definitely you have to be able to shape shots and things. But I just, the way he's been playing, I don't think we would have to mention him as a contender.
One thing I think of it with Augusta is those thick tree lines they have, though. So if he pounds it on one of those par 4s and goes straight into the tree line, is he going to be able to get it out? You know what I mean? Like, is he going to play smart? And that's another thing that he always does. He's like, go, try and get it as close to the hole as possible. He doesn't try and lay it up onto the fairway and then go from there. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't want to be that guy, because I know I'm going to be proven wrong on Sunday. He's going to be in the conversation, because it seems like every tournament he is. But it's just like, I think this is going to be the real test of if that style of golfing is for real or not. Like, it's obviously a route you can take. I think it proved that when he won the U.S. Open. But is it for real? Can it lead to like a Hall of Fame career?
Yeah.
And we're gonna find out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's but yeah, his year. I definitely could see him having a hole like he had. I can't remember which tournament it was where he just like he hit like 3 straight balls out of bounds. It was just like refusing to concede and go drop from another spot. He's like, I can hit this, and then ends up with like a 10 on the hole.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's definitely got that potential. He's just such a head case. But I feel like not having fans benefits him a lot.
Yeah,
just because there's
definitely.
there's way less. There's just that atmosphere just really adds to it, and I feel like he's maybe a guy that might crumble under some of that pressure. So there being no fans definitely I think helps him more than it does, more than it would most other golfers.
That was something that Morikawa said yesterday in his press conference, that you're in your head a lot more with no fans and stuff like that. So it's a tougher situation. And the only reason why he played so well in the Open Championship is because it was his home course in San Francisco. So it kind of made him feel more comfortable, but it's tougher these other ones. So yeah. Obviously DJ's got to be up there because he's DJ. He's the best athlete on the course for sure, and he always kind of finds his way in that top 10. But can he thrive up to the pressure? Because it feels like the past 2 years he's just on the last day he's always like in first or in second, and he's there, and then he just like drops 3 holes in a row, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Like what happened to Dustin Johnson? Yeah, no, but he has just been so consistent. He's just having trouble like clinching and finishing these things out. So, but he's one that's he's got the experience there. So I definitely think he'll be around on Sunday within a few shots.
Yeah, I want to talk about Jordan Spieth, but I feel like he's just been Mr. Irrelevant the past few years.
It's crazy, man. He just he
was such a stud, dude. Yeah, it's so crazy. I don't get it either, and I think it was Scott Van Pelt was saying the other day on SportsCenter that like Spieth, his rookie season he had a really good weekend at Augusta. He finished second behind Bubba Watson, and ever since then, that first tournament he I think he hasn't even made the cut like half the time. And he's admitted because of just the pressure of the first major of the season. So it's the last major of the season? Can it be something that he like benefits from? I think that's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't heard that, but yeah, if that's something where he comes out of the gate slow because of that pressure, then knowing it's the last one, and then I also think I don't know. I feel like something. At least if it's me and I'm thinking like, all right, I'm playing this weekend, and then you turn right around and play again in April, I do think that kind of would help guys too.
Yeah,
just know it's like, all right, whatever mistakes I make, I've got I've only got 5 months and I can go back out and prove wrong, and correct them.
And the course is so much more familiar as opposed to a year-long layoff. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. I just played this course. This is what happened to me on hole 3.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can avoid it this time. All right, who's your favorite then?
So the guy I'm going with actually to win, he's been right there. I just feel like I think it's time. I'm going Tony Finau.
You're going, dude. That was gonna be mine. Damn it, that was gonna be mine. He always plays well here too.
He always plays well here. I just remember it was like 2 or 3 years ago when he dislocated his ankle in the practice round, and still had a pretty decent out. I just like. He's just always right there, and I think this is his time to break through and get his major championship.
And he's another guy. If Bryson is playing well and benefits from the pound it as far as I can and worry about the lie later strategy, Tony's going to be sitting there right next to him because his that's not his strategy, but it's very similar, and he's got the power along with Bryson to just bomb the ball. So I'm telling everybody right now, if we see Bryson leading after day 2 and day 3, look down that scoreboard, and Tony's going to be either right behind him or a couple shots behind, and it could come down to a battle of just strength on Sunday, which would be so much fun to watch. I would love to see that.
That'd be an awesome final pairing,
dude. Oh my god. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna pick a different one then. I want to pick Ricky Fowler, our boy Ricky, but
I was going to ask if you were going to bring up our boy, but
I was going to wait till the very end because I don't feel confident. He's not playing well this entire season. He's got to win one eventually, though, man.
Eventually, you think, man? It's our boy.
I know, dude. If he wins, I'm popping a bottle of champagne on Sunday. I do not give a shit. For the listeners who's the first time listening to me and Bobby talk about golf, this is he just takes us back to our college frat days. He's just got so much style, and so he's just so fun and just goofy. And just go, Bobby. What was the picture that you said? What tournament was it from? Where it's like all the wives are like kissing or all the guys are kissing their wives, and he's just sitting there like.
I think it was from one of either the Ryder Cup or that other, the other, when they do the USA versus the World President's Cup. Yeah. One of those, the winning picture, and everyone's around like kissing their wives. He's just in the middle, giving them like a,
just like a shrug. It's hilarious.
Man. Yeah,
I'm wearing this mustache strictly because he did it a couple of years ago.
Give him the mustache power. I like it.
Yeah. So maybe my mustache power will give him some confidence this weekend. No, I don't know. I think I'm going with Jason Day as my front runner. He's just always there. He's always good. He's another guy with the emotions get the best of him sometimes, but he's been playing well lately. I don't see why we wouldn't like see him in the final pairing. His odds are 33-1, so they're modest. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Who's your dark horse?
Ooh, so. If we're going to go super dark horse, let me look down this odds list here.
How far are you going down? 100-1 odds? Are you going to 125-1 odds?
I'm down there. You know what? Why not? Siwoo Kim.
Who?
Siwoo Kim, 125-1. That's my sleeper.
Okay, interesting. All right. I think I'm going to go with... Okay, my sleeper is going to be, this is not a good sleeper though, because he's very popular. My dark horse is going to be Phil Mickelson, just based on strictly experience.
All right, fair enough.
He's won here 3 times. Wait, no. Yeah, 3 times. He knows the course just as well as anybody. So if there's anybody who can get through the weather, it's potentially him. Not definitely, potentially him. All right, Bobby. I think that's gonna do it. A nice little Masters preview. Hopefully, mustache power helps our boy Ricky this weekend, and we can pop some champagne on Sunday.
I'd help out if I could, but I've been growing this thing for 10 days, and this is where I'm at. So.
Oh, you know what? Let's finish up. Let's not finish off yet. Let's talk about the Sixers real quick. All right. The Sixers fire. So their first step was they fire Brent Brown. Obviously, I think we've all been seeing that coming for a while. They extend. Elton Brand to a few more years. Then they hire Doc Rivers as their head coach. I think those are the only moves that I think that's the history of the offseason for the Sixers so far. So
you're missing the big move of the offseason.
Which one was that?
Daryl Morey.
That's right.
Now the president of basketball operations.
Daryl Morey comes in, becomes president of basketball ops, which makes no sense to me. If you're going to bring in a new president of basketball ops, why would you extend the general manager? You would think that he would want to bring in his own guy. Like that's just that. Well, on top of that, no sense to me.
Why would you hire a head coach and then hire essentially the boss of the GM? Like,
and you know that historically they don't get along.
That sounds perfectly Sixers.
Yeah, when Daryl was in Boston, working in like his first front office job, he was like assistant GM or something like that. That was when Doc first came in, and they historically butted heads, which led to Daryl leaving and going to the Rockets and getting that general manager job. Just a heads up, just so you know. I don't know if they mended that relationship since then, but.
I mean, of course, now they're going to be like, oh, yeah, we're friends. So, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm excited about having Morey there because on a personal level, I always think of him as like kind of the like Jesus to Hinkie's, he was our savior, and then his dad was Daryl Morey. So it's nice having Daryl Morey back, and we can start the process over again.
Yeah, I mean, Daryl Morey is the Billy Bean of basketball, and Hinkie is like the Paul DePodesta. He was like his
disciple,
mentee, I guess you could say. Yeah.
So I mean, from that aspect, I'm excited. I mean, obviously, until everything kind of gets going, which it sounds like now is going to be next week with the draft, and then a couple of days after that is free agency. So, I mean, if they're able somehow, some way to get one of either Horford or Tobias Harris contracts off the books, that whatever else Morey does, it's a win.
So, but what's an idea that you have to get that one of those off the books? And obviously, you want to bring a guard in, right?
Yeah. I mean, now that Morey's here, obviously all they talk about is like, get James Harden to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets aren't going to want to do that.
I'm telling you right now, I just worked with someone, a player who plays for the Rockets, and there's no chance in hell that Russell or James Harden are leaving. The Rockets have every intention on riding that as far as they can.
Yeah, so that's what every Philly fan's like. Send Simmons and Horford to Houston for James Harden, and it's just like, I mean, just because you want that to happen, there's two teams in this trade. I don't know, man. Because if I'm the GM of any other team, like, I'm just going to ask for a ridiculous return to get rid, to take on either of those contracts. Yeah. I mean, Tobias Harris is slightly less so, just because he's still a decent player, not at the price that he's getting paid, but he could still give you value. I just think Al Horford is like done.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that Horford suffered from playing with Embiid. You can't play those two guys next to each other.
No.
I think if he goes to a place that needs a big, like if he were to go to, honestly, the Warriors, if he were to go to the Warriors, I think he would thrive a little bit. That's a place that needs a big guy. Or if he were to go to, I don't know off the top of my head, if you were to swap like him and Gobert in Utah, and then maybe you flip Gobert because you wouldn't want Gobert and Embiid together. But that's the thing. I think he would thrive in Utah, or I don't know. I mean, or Boston.
Send him to Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie. Let him be their big man there with DeAndre Jordan too. But so what I'm hearing from you is Al Horford for the second overall pick. Done deal?
No. Definitely not.
Okay. Right.
No, I'd rather draft Anthony Edwards and deal with Al Horford. I'll Al Horford for Andrew Wiggins.
Jesus Christ! Any trade that has the name Andrew Wiggins in it, I just assume whatever team's getting him is losing the trade.
I mean, I don't really know. I don't have a rebuttal for that one. But here's the thing. I think it's pretty realistic that both those guys are untradeable. Maybe Tobias Harris, but you wouldn't get anything back. It would be like expirings or something like that.
Yeah, and you'd have to give up, either young players or draft picks.
Yeah,
along with him.
But Embiid, I think, is definitely tradable, and there's definitely something enticing about it. And if between Embiid and Simmons, of the guys on that team who I'd want to trade, it's Embiid 10 times out of 10 who I would give up, opposed to Simmons. At least Simmons is a great defender on and off ball, and he's a workhorse. Whereas like Embiid, I think, is pretty obvious. You guys need a guard, man. That's really what
we need shooters.
Yeah,
it's just straight up. We need Simmons and Embiid and all shooters.
So the rumors for Chris Paul then, based on what you just said, would not be a good fit for the Sixers because they need shooters. Chris Paul is necessarily not really a shooter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Chris Paul would help facilitate, but yeah, I mean, ideally a guard that can shoot, off of a pick and roll with Embiid.
Yeah.
Pick and pop with Embiid would be great, but who knows, man? I mean, and it'll be interesting too to see how Doc Rivers manages the lineup versus Brett Brown. I don't think it can get much worse than it did towards the end of last year. So, I think because you'll start seeing guys like Shake Milton get more minutes, and even Korkmaz getting more minutes. They just need guys that can make shots. Like
I still think they have a trade in them, though, dude. I still don't think it's over. I don't think this is the roster we're going to be looking at.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean that's like it's almost become like the expected from the Sixers now every year. It's like when are they making their trade?
Well,
It's like
especially with Morey now. Morey, that's what he does. Like he never feels satisfied with his team. It feels like, at least.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting, and then so that's kind of nice too to have that coming up, and then the season only starts in like a little over a month.
Yeah,
December
just a little over a
22nd,
month. Yeah,
opening
man.
night.
I'm super excited for that. Thank God. I'm these fucking weekdays with no sports to watch are driving me crazy. Like, this is this. Now I appreciate the sports calendar for what it was. It's like a well-oiled machine. Like, don't get me wrong, I love watching movies and TV, but like I like sports. Watching a game is like my like escape. It's like I can sit down. I don't have to like. I can either watch and only focus on that and just like zone out from the world for a little bit, or I can watch it. It's on the background while doing other stuff, which I love, which, with a movie or television, you can't do that. You got to pay attention to what's going on with the plot and shit. I just miss that, like, and I never noticed it till now. Like, baseball ends right when basketball picks up, and it's just like, oh my God, this is perfect. So
it's a perfect cycle. And then
I miss. That's why I'm like, dude, can we make Tuesday Night Football like an actual thing? Like, why did it only happen one time or twice? Like, why can't we? Can this be like an every week thing now? Because I need something to watch during the week.
I know it's bad, and that was like I was all excited. Remember like back in May or June, I think we recorded a podcast when they were like finally announcing like sports were starting to come back and like when they were starting, and we like all I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, you mean we're gonna have baseball going on and basketball playoffs and hockey playoffs and football? But then it got here and like it was just almost like too much sports, and I was just like, I can't do this. I'm only watching football. I was like, it's football season.
It's the reason why I have 3 TVs on my wall now in my living room, so that I can watch everything at the same time. But now it's back to that feeling, and like I miss it now. It's like, God damn it! Like, we had the sports overload, and I was like used to it at that point. I became accustomed to it. All right, Bobby. Thank you for joining. Thanks for talking golf, talking Sixers. Good segue, because me and Xavier are going to be talking about the Warriors draft coming up right after this. What do you think the Warriors should do? You think we should trade it, or do you think we should keep it?
If they get the right offer, I think they should trade it, because I mean they're the Warriors. Their window's still open. I mean,
yeah,
and I just think bringing in a rookie, it's hard. It's hard to. I mean, the rookie, they're not going to, whoever it is, they're not going to have to be like that impact player like they would be.
This draft is
generally it's different because it's the Warriors, and Steph and Clay are going to be back. So I mean, whoever they take is just going to like fill a need. It's not going to be they're our franchise saving player. So, but I think if they can get a deal to get, I mean, who would you want in exchange for the pick? Like, do you have a player in mind?
I'll get deeper into it in the after the break, but with Xavier. But I want them to take a pick, because I think whoever we take could be like a Tyler Hero type of guy. Like, he's a young star who like makes a big impact for our team in a specific role, but it's someone who we can build off in the future moving forward. Once Steph's already starting to hit his decline. Luckily, his ceiling is so high because he's so fucking good that it's not as noticeable. He's still one of the best players in the league, but he is starting to decline, and Clay is hitting his peak right now. So like, by the time that both of their peaks kind of start to go down, same with Draymond. Draymond's kind of starting to decline a little bit too. By the time both their peaks start to go down, his peak his ceiling starts to he starts to get better, and he like kind of like, it's like a transition where it's like, okay, Steph isn't the player he is, so he kind of drops down to like our number 2 guy. Clay becomes the the number 1 guy, and then this new guy, hopefully Anthony Edwards, cross my fingers, becomes like the complementary piece to Clay, and they kind of build the offense around that. I don't know, that's just my theory. I would rather sacrifice like 2 championships in a row, 2 back-to-back championships, and then 10 years of losing again. I would rather like either be in the running for a championship for the next 10 years than just win 2 championships and then suck for 10 years. Because as a Warriors fan,
spoken like a true fan that's won 3 championships in the last 6 years.
Okay, all right.
If you're a Sixers fan, I'm taking those 2 championships and 10 years of sucking.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Look, Bobby, I dealt with it for my entire life up until 2015. So don't even get me started.
I'm still dealing with it.
I know.
Every damn year.
dude, whatever. You got the Eagles there in first place.
Oh my God, we still can't get over. They still want Nick Foles back, and it's like, dude, he hasn't been here in 3 years, 2 years.
And look what he's doing with the Bears. It's not very
They
impressive.
suck. They suck. I'm not saying we're the greatest. Like, we tied the Bengals, but like,
no, dude, it's 100% like who Carson Wentz makes some pretty bad throws sometimes, but it's 100% who he's throwing to. It's half the problem.
He makes some awful throw. I don't know. I don't want you to go any longer than you need to, because the Eagles piss me off just as much as the Sixers do. His life as a Philly sports fan.
We have a group text going, and every week it's a love-hate relationship for Bobby. He either says weekly reminder, go Eagles, or he says weekly reminder, fuck the Eagles. It's just an ongoing joke. All right, Bobby. Thanks again. Xavier is coming up, so stay tuned for that.
Peace.
Are you recording?
I'm recording.
Sweet. Are you recording with your mustache as well?
Yeah, I'm recording with my mustache.
How does one record with the mustache?
Can you hear the power that's coming off of my lips?
So you've been growing your mustache for like a while now. Why did you start growing your mustache?
Well, when the pandemic hit, I just stopped shaving. And it got grotesque. So as I started to shave the beard off months later, I just kind of kept the mustache. And
welcome back to the mustache hour with Xavier Gomez and Chris Madrigal.
Yeah.
Should we start a third podcast with the mustache?
I mean,
where we literally just talk about mustaches the entire
at the same
hour?
time, do your listeners know that I didn't have a mustache before?
I don't know. I mean, if they watch the YouTube channel, which our last NBA breakfast got like 30 views on YouTube, so maybe they know now.
Yeah, maybe it was because I had a mustache then too.
Oh, maybe we're like dragging in like a mustache type of like audience where they're just like really. Is that a sexual thing, or do you think it's more of like an appreciation for?
Whoa! I think both men and women appreciate mustaches, so it doesn't have to be sexual. It can be though.
But men and women could also be sexually attracted to mustaches.
This is true.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever heard this term called lumbersexuals?
No. What is that?
It's like it's two ways. It's people who are attracted to people who dress up like lumberjacks, and also people who like to dress up like lumberjacks in order to attract the opposite sex.
Oh, okay. Dudes
with the beards, and they wear the flannel shirts, and they got boots and suspenders on, and they're all like did hair, but they don't fucking chop wood. They just go out like that.
When did you learn this phrase? So like, hold on. Before you answer that question. So you're telling me if I see one of these guys out at a bar and I start like, if I just like Wikipedia all night, some like lumberjack lingo, and I start asking them about it, they're going to have no idea what I'm talking about?
I mean, he might not be aware of his status as a lumbersexual, but he is, So
like,
I think
if I start asking him like, hey, what's your favorite like axe brand? He's just going to have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's like, what are you talking about, bro? And then if you're like, hey, why are you wearing all this lumberjack clothing? Are you a lumberjack? And he'll say, no, I cut hair at this corner shop. Say something like that, random.
Yeah, and then do you think he'll admit to being a lumbersexual?
I don't know. I mean, it's more of a term to describe people that we notice.
But I feel like if
people
you're one
who
of
are
these
identifying as a group.
But if you're one of these people, wouldn't you be like loud and proud about it? You know what I mean? Because like you're going out of your way to dress up this way in order to attract a certain type of sexual, for lack of a better word, fetish that you have. So you would want it to be known, because then if you find a girl who is also a lumbersexual, you would want them to be like, like, oh, cool, then let's go home tonight. Not just like ask you, not just be like, hey, you're a lumberjack, so let's just like talk about lumberjack shit.
I think unconsciously, yes. But it's also like, is it the women's fault that they just are validating all these men who dress up like lumberjacks and by sleeping with them?
It's a fantastic question.
I got here because you said that people get attracted to mustaches. What would that be called? Like mustache? No, mustachesexual? No.
Mustache sexual? Mustache. I mean, we could Google it if we really want to.
Welcome to the pod, everybody. We're asking the real questions here.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be the NBA breakfast edition of this podcast, but we started talking about mustaches because Xavier's been rocking this. It's obviously Movember. We talked about it in the last segment with Bobby. I have a mustache going.
He has a mustache.
If you are watching on the YouTube channel, you'll see my mustache, but Xavier's is just more glorious than my mustache. It's because he's been growing his for several months.
Yeah, you're just getting there, but it's still like Mr. Potato Heady, and it's like you need that full lip. Yeah, you're gonna get there though.
Yeah, no, I'll get there in like a week. My
I went
hair
through a
grows
phase.
pretty intense. I'm Mexican, so it's pretty.
Yeah, I went through a phase where I was just watching videos of like Tom Selleck, or people with crazy mustaches because it like inspired me, even though I did nothing to help my hair grow faster.
Can we just show? Can we just show some appreciation for Tom Selleck real quick? He's been rocking that mustache for 30 plus years. And it's still like he's on TV and it's gotten him a long way. That stash has really just carried him through his career. Because let's be honest with you, he's not a great actor. He's pretty one-dimensional. But the dude's on Friday night television.
I'll never say that.
What's that show? Blue Bloods? He's still on that show and he's still rocking the mustache. And he's got the perfect role. He's a cop. He's a police chief. Who was the first person you think of, like professional-wise, that has a mustache? A police chief. Boom.
Yeah,
Tom Selleck, well played.
He's born to play that role. Yeah. Maybe, see, I'm afraid that, like, once I finally shave it, because I'm telling myself I'm only going to have it for as long as Corona is around.
Which is going to be for the rest of your life, then?
I guess so. But I'm afraid that if I shave it, like, I'm going to catch a draft and my lip is going to get cold and things aren't going to be the same and I'll be compelled to have to grow back out. Is this who I am now?
I think so, man. I think this is like, I think this could be like your look. Like, I know you're not really big about like having one look. You constantly like to change up your look and your style and your fashion. But like, maybe the stash is the way to go for you. Like, well, how would you say that your like dating life has gone since you've had the stash? Better or worse or about the same?
Ladies love me. I got that mustache. I mean, it's not bad. Like, kind of the same. I haven't heard a woman be like, "That's gross. You should shave it." Just more like, hey, I like your mustache, sit on it or some shit like that.
I dig it. All right, should we talk about basketball now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe we could save the full mustache talk for like another episode, because I have more thoughts on this for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit lifestyle, mustaches, they're just power.
So really only one subject on this week's NBA breakfast. NBA draft is next Wednesday. Warriors have the number 2 overall pick. A lot of speculation going around who's going to get what. A lot of rumors about the Warriors trading, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't really heard too many like legit trade rumors yet. They've been keeping it pretty under wraps, pretty quiet. The only one I really heard was like the Drew Holiday one, but I don't know. I'm curious. I wanted to talk about this because I'm curious as to like what you think the best fit and what the best route for the Warriors would be with this pick. Do you think that trading it is the best move, or do you think that taking one of these young guys and if we do make this pick, like who do we want to get? What areas do we want to address? Because, and also one side note before you get into it, we are the salary cap has not moved this season. It's 130 million. And we are over that right now. The luxury tax. The salary cap is 109. Luxury tax is 130. We are over that currently at 133 or something like that. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, so where's your head out at, Xavier?
I mean, this is clearly like a ridiculous scenario where like a team who, the last 4 or 5 years, top contenders, really running the West Coast, and there's every reason for them to continue to do that next season. But now they randomly just have like a second overall pick, compliment that team. It's pretty outrageous. And you want to say like, oh, I got to capitalize on that and get like some amazing all-star rookie who's going to like help you be even more dominant for decades to come, for the next decade to come. But then, it's like traditional basketball, the process, like, like what the proper thing should do, but the smart basketball thing to do would be to trade it away, in my opinion. But
why?
Because you can get so much more for it.
But this year's draft is pretty like at the top, at least it's pretty like unimpressive. There's no like franchise changing guys in this draft. Exactly.
But the Warriors don't need a franchise changing guy. They're going to be a good team, and like they might not be the number one team in the West anymore for the next couple of years, but they're going to be contenders. I don't see them missing the playoffs, very much. So it's not like they need the number 2 overall pick. There's other teams that definitely do, and the Warriors are in a position to like really leverage that to get most anything they want. But what do they want, right? That's the big question, and how are they going to get it, and from whom?
For me, it's kind of about like a cycle of being successful. Like that's kind of what I for lack of a better word, kind of like what the Steelers are doing, kind of like what the Spurs did for 20 years. It's like the next guy up type of thing, and you want to keep like grooming these younger guys so that by the time your stars start their decline, these other guys are starting to hit their prime. So it's like a constant just arc of success, and you're always going to have a competitive team. So the reality is that Steph Curry is on the decline in his prime. I think that's pretty obvious. Like I don't think he's going to win any more MVPs. Maybe he does. Who knows? I think Klay Thompson is hitting his peak right now, hitting his prime. And his decline is going to start pretty soon. Draymond Green, his decline already started. We saw it last season. He wasn't that great. Yes, he didn't have Steph or Klay, but he
might have been sandbagging a little bit.
Maybe. So the way I see it, this pick is kind of crucial because it kind of keeps that train moving, and you can start developing this guy, and in 3 years he becomes like your number 2, number 3 option when Steph is like declined more, when Draymond's declined more, and it's just like it's the constant like rotation of who your go-to guy is. Realistically, in 3 years, Steph isn't going to be our best player. It's probably going to be Klay because of just where they're at in their age and whatnot. So why not draft like an Anthony Edwards now, and then he kind of like builds and becomes that number 2 option, like your second best player on the team. Like it's just, I don't know. That's just the way. It's kind of the way I'm looking at it a little bit.
I like Edwards a lot.
I'd rather win one more championship and be good for 20 years than win 3 more championships and then suck after those 3 championships immediately for 20 years.
Yeah, I get that because it's good to root for like a winning team.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I mean,
and instill the hope at least and stuff like that.
Yeah, but those championships, they last forever, bro. Well, I guess that Spurs legacy lasts forever too. But they won more than 1 championship over 20 years.
They won 5. We've won 3.
Yeah, we can get 2 more. I get that. All right, who else are you thinking other than Edwards?
Well, I mean, James Wiseman's the other like. So I mean, okay, let's look at the mock draft. So ESPN
7'1". Wow.
ESPN has LaMelo Ball going number 1 to the Timberwolves. I don't get that one at all. I don't know how much research you've done on LaMelo Ball, but it's pretty unimpressive.
Yeah, that's something I didn't really pay too much attention to on account of I don't really want the Warriors to draft LaMelo Ball. So like if the Timberwolves want him, hey, go ahead, bro. Like,
yeah, like have at it. That's your funeral. And then it has the Warriors drafting.
Well, I'm not saying that LaMelo Ball won't be good.
He's got a lot of deficiencies in his game. One, he plays selfish hero ball a lot, and his decision making is fucking god awful. Like he'll pull up on like a 45-footer out of nowhere just for no reason, just to do it, just to try and flex, and he'll miss. And you're just kind of like, dude, what is the deal with your shot selection? His vision of the court is great, and the way he sees it, but he doesn't. With someone who has such good vision, you would think that they would like try to get their teammates involved more, but he doesn't. He plays selfish basketball and he doesn't get his teammates involved. He's immature. He has bad decision making, and his shot is terrible. His shot is just as bad as his brother's is. And remember like that was a big like issue that everybody like kind of pointed out when he first came to the league, and they're like, oh no, he'll figure it out. He'll work on it, and he'll get better. Yeah, well, he didn't do that. He didn't work on it, and he didn't get better. And I mean, on top of that, you got to deal with Lamar. Like everything about him just doesn't sound like it's worth it to me.
Yep, 100%. 100% totally get that.
So ESPN has us taking James Wiseman, the center out of Memphis, which is the guy who we've been kind of promoting for a whole year. I really like him. He kind of plays basketball like a small forward. He can dribble. He can create his own shot within 15 feet. He's got a nice little mid-range, a nice little pull-up. If he can develop a three-point shot, he'd be very dangerous. He's a good rim protector. He's got insane length. Not much power, though. And then they have Anthony Edwards going to Hornet. Anthony Edwards is a guard out of Georgia, 6'5", 225 pounds of just straight muscle. This guy's a truck. He's pretty much like Andre Iguodala, but a better offensive player.
He looks like a wide receiver. That dude's big.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very talented, and he's not necessarily a finished product, but he's almost a guarantee that he's going to be a contributor to your team, and his ceiling is higher, but his floor is also better than the other guys.
All right.
And then Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer has Anthony Edwards going 1 to Minnesota, and then us taking James Wiseman at 2.
Yeah, Edwards is solid. I don't know why he's not the number 1 pick, and I really agree with that. Yeah. He's solid.
He's really fucking good. I mean,
yeah, that guy's good.
And there's so much more that you can add to his game. Like, he doesn't have any like major holes to where like everything can improve if he works with the right guys, which I think he would slide in perfectly with our veteran leadership in Steph and Clay, and he could make him into like this insane, outstanding player, and in 3 years be like a Jamal Murray or something.
Exactly,
like that.
And he won't get those minutes where people are going to count on him too much, but he could definitely add, to us, in the minutes he does get. Eventually, like taking the pressure off everybody else. Yeah, I really like him. There's this other guy that I like, and I want to talk to you about. His name is Onyeka Okongwu. Have you heard of him? He's a center from USC. Yeah, one and done guy, averaged 16 points. I don't know, big dude, smart, pretty young.
He's fucking yoked too, dude.
Yeah.
He's a big
He's from
guy.
California. I don't know. I like him. I like a lot of Pac-12 people though.
Yeah,
that's me. I think he's somebody who I thought if the Warriors decided to like trade a pick for like a later pick, that they might scoop him up later in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Onyeka Okongwu, solid dude.
So I've been hearing a lot about this dude named Killian Hayes. He played in Europe last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's a point guard. I don't think he would fit with the Warriors at all. You would have to slide everybody up, which is fine. Like those small ball teams are working. Look at what the that's kind of what the trend in the NBA is. But like look at like the Spurs with Derek White, Javante Murray, and DeMar DeRozan. Like they kind of make those 3 guards work. It would kind of be a similar situation. But
what's this guy's name?
Killian Hayes. He's super ball dominant, which is not a world that I want to live in, especially with how good of a passer and how good Steph Curry sees the floor. Like, I don't want the ball out of Steph's hands too much. I'd rather find guys that can create their own shot off ball, and Draymond can also facilitate to them too. But he's supposed to be really good. Kevin O'Connor has him number 1 in his big board.
Really?
Yeah, he like above all these guys that we named.
I just hate when foreigners. Oh, he's not foreign though. He's not
foreign,
American.
but he played last year. He did like the RJ Hampton. He played overseas for college.
Is RJ Hampton's in this draft, right?
He is. He's a little bit farther down. If they traded back, so that's kind of, I wouldn't mind them trading back as long as they get to keep a first round pick. Like
depends who they trade with, somewhere like in the middle of the pack maybe, because they might get something good out of it and get a solid first round pick. This draft is so mid, I would say. That like a first guy who's like in the first couple of picks might be as good as somebody who's like the 16th or the 21st.
Like if they were to trade back to 5 with Cleveland and get Denny Avdia instead of Edwards or something like that, Denny Avdia would be a great addition to our team. He can play that small forward spot that we've been looking for. You could slide Andrew Wiggins up to power forward or play a little bit smaller. And Denny Avdia is a great defender. He would help us out tremendously with the loss of Andre Iguodala.
He would be the first drafted Israeli.
Really?
Jewish guy in the league. What's up?
Nice.
Hey, shout out to Jackson. Shout out to my homies. What's up? Keep for the Jewish people out there. Yeah, for the Jewish people.
And then like also like if you were to trade back to like 9 at DC or 10 with Phoenix and get like Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin, he's probably the most established product in the draft this year. Like he's gonna instantly be an impact on a team this season somewhere. somewhere. He's just like his style of play is very pro style game. He definitely it's a very low floor or high floor with him. You know what I mean? You know what you're gonna get out of him. But I don't know if I'm willing to settle. That's kind of like what my point was at the beginning of this podcast. Like, I would rather get someone who's like gonna contribute for the long term, not just right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not one of the big three. Warriors. He's one of these guys that's way farther outside. I'd say. I think Denny Avdia is higher ranked than he is.
Yeah,
on their short list. And I like Denny. I think he'd be kind of solid. And the Warriors seem to really like him.
Yeah, they worked him out the other day, and they were big fans of his.
Yeah.
So, what are you leaning towards then?
Wiseman.
Yeah.
I think Edwards should go first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea why LaMelo would go first. That's insane.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if Edwards didn't go first.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if LaMelo went first.
Yeah.
But I mean, he played really great in Lithuania. So, have you ever watched a Lithuanian basketball game?
No, that sounds.
It's
awful.
Actually not so bad. It's whatever, you know. But like,
you've watched it before?
Mean it. Yeah, of course I did. I had to check it out. I was like, maybe they're doing something out there in Lithuania. We don't know. Like they just like, you know how the Euro step, like it's like a move we stole. Like, do they have other moves out there we just don't do? You know. Like they do a dunk where they like, you know, hang off the back, something stupid. Can't even think of this stuff. But they can in Lithuania.
The crazy thing about this is a good point. The crazy thing about like if for some reason Minnesota took LaMelo number 1, like they already have a point guard, bro. Like they are D'Angelo Russell. Like they already have a point guard. Why would you want to get another one? Why not get a shooting guard who can slide in right next to D'Angelo and play off him? Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't.
I think it's Wiseman all the way. I think no matter where we go, it's going to be Wiseman. But I would love Anthony Edwards, bro. I would fucking.
Yeah. Also, like going back to like trading, if they wanted to trade the pick, I don't really know what's on the board for the Warriors. Like, what do they really need? Like more bench? Is that something they want to pick up? I don't know.
They don't really have a starting center right now, though. That's the thing. Yeah. So Wiseman kind of solves that problem.
Yeah, I get that, but you know, the Warriors can always piece together a center. Yeah. That was never the problem. And I don't see many of their plans not including Wiggins. I think he's a big part of their scheme for next year.
I would assume if there is a trade with 2, that Wiggins is involved in that trade somehow. Because they definitely want to get off that contract, too.
Yeah, but I think he's somebody that I think they're going to want to sit on until, like, trade deadline. You know?
But if you're a team, if you're like Cleveland calling about this number 2 pick, I mean, if you're Bob Myers, you're probably like, well, if you throw in this guy, then I'll give you Wiggins, and you can deal with that bullshit. I don't know. I mean, I don't see a route where this number 2 pick isn't packaged with Wiggins.
Yeah, but I could also see that Warriors will have all these big hopes, and then an injury can happen. So I could see Bob Myers trying to think of some sort of backup plan.
Yeah,
to probably keep a playoff team contingent, just in case the worst happens. But I don't know. These guys had a lot of rest.
So I do want to talk really quick about a second round kind of pick. Okay. A guy I'm super high on, Peyton Pritchard out of Oregon, and kind of Cassius Winston out of Michigan State, but Peyton Pritchard in particular. This guy is the only reason why he's getting a bad rep and being put into like a second round tier is because he played 4 years in college and he's 22 years old and he's not 19. So he's like more of an established product. So he's just older. What? That's the only reason why. Yeah, but exactly. That I don't get it either. Like he's going to be, I think that he's going to be one of those guys like a Tyler Hero who's going to get drafted later on in this draft and immediately be an impact player for a team somewhere. The guy can shoot from literally anywhere on the court, including half court. He has amazing vision for the court. On the floor. He can see any fucking play that comes. He set up his teammates for fucking pick and rolls like left and right. He was so good for Oregon last year. He is a great leader. He has stepped up in big moments. He's made those big shots. He I mean, he's a point guard, so his dribbling's obviously really good. He's gonna impact some team out there, and I would love for the Warriors to get him. He would be a great 6-man for us, I think, and like really like lead the second unit. Those young guys like Damian Lee and what's his face, the guy from Michigan, the shooting guard, with the dreads. Totally blanking on his name. Oh, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole. Yeah, I think that he could really be an impact. And if he's there with the Warriors' second round pick, which I think is like the middle of the second round, like they 100% just draft him. He's like a huge impact player, and he could be.
What's his name? What's this guy's name?
Peyton Pritchard from Oregon. He's a white dude. Yeah, he can be
definitely a white dude.
He can be a fantastic player for the Warriors off the bench and potentially for the future. Yeah, I want them to pick him. They probably won't, but he would be great. And a lot of people agree with that about him. A lot of people are like kind of stunned that he's being pushed to the second round. They think he's like a late first round guy because he's going to be an immediate impact. I
mean, shooters out here you got to have shooters out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that he's going to go to Sacramento.
Interesting with De'Aaron Fox.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
man, I mean, I just if Anthony Edwards don't go first, but I'd be okay with either one of them. If they got Wiseman or Edwards. That's the thing.
If Edwards doesn't go first, then you got to take him, right?
Yeah, that second pick is so huge. I just no, they got to take it. They got to do the pick. They're gonna get somebody sick because it's just so unreal that they have such a sick pick.
I mean, if they traded the pick and Andrew Wiggins for Drew Holiday, like how would you feel about that? No. I think I'd rather have the pick, man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like Drew Holiday a lot, but I think I'd rather have the pick.
I like Drew. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it was Oklahoma City, I'd say trade him away because they could do deals like nobody else. But
yeah.
Nah, not out there. I don't know.
I don't know what you get from OKC. Steven Adams? I wouldn't want Steven Adams.
You give the second round pick to the number 2 pick to Houston. You get Russell Westbrook.
Oh God, that sounds.
Make him play
awful.
Center. It'd be insane. He'd hate it, but you'd be like, "What are you gonna do, bro?" You have to figure it out, right? You gotta figure it out. He could do it. You don't think he could do it?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
He would hate it. He would just
short.
Would not play. Yeah. All right, I think that'll do it for this little short NBA breakfast. So we both agree if Edwards is there, take Edwards, but if not, it's probably Wiseman.
Yeah.
If they draft LaMelo, I'm gonna throw something against my wall.
Dude, they'll never draft LaMelo. Nobody's that stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, here's to looking at you, Minnesota Timberwolves. Jesus.
All right, thanks for coming on, Xavier. Appreciate it again. We'll talk after the draft.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Nice stash, bro.
Nice stash. We got to do stash updates every once in a while.
Stash talk.
Pictures.
Stash talk.
We got to just update each other on how our stashes are going.
Yeah.
Who's going to say it? 4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
14.
12. Welcome back.
Okay.
$5 picks. Wait, what week is this, guys?
10?
Week 10. We have a special guest joining us for this week's picks. He just joined me in the last segment for NBA. Xavier Gomez is back. He's gonna do the NFL. He's gonna do the NFL picks with us.
I'm back, baby.
Brad Field, Jay Mansker back as well as again. We skipped last week picks because
Well, hell, we had an election going on, huh?
Yeah, a very tense election.
There's a lot going on.
We had a very interesting group chat between me, Brad, and Jay. It went very dark Tuesday night, very cynical, and then in 24 hours, just dramatic 180 to very positive, very happy, very yeah.
It was mostly Brad. It was mostly Brad. It was like chicken. The sky was falling with Brad. He was.
Dude, he came out early, man. He came out in the first quarter. Dude, he was like.
The writing's on the wall, guys. The writing's on the wall.
Which is what they've been saying for weeks, right? They said that's what was going to happen.
It was like the AFC Championship game last year when the Titans came out and were just putting it to the Chiefs. All of a sudden, like Mahomes came out of nowhere in the fourth quarter and was like, "All right."
Mahomes is like mail-in ballots. Oh my God, that would be a great what is it, GIF? I'm old. It's like him, but just the ball. You put mail-in ballots over the football and it had that.
Tyreek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Guys, the best one still is DK chasing down
that's
Buda Baker, but with Biden and Trump's.
Oh yeah, dude. That
was great.
So good.
I think the funniest moment of that group text that night was when all the Midwestern states kind of started to go red, and we're all just like freaking out, and you guys were like, "God, the fucking Midwest, blah blah blah. This is how they are. Just a bunch of just terrible people. Just only in the cities. It's like I'm not gonna get.
Hey, now any Midwesterner.
If anybody's from the Midwest listening to this, I did not say that.
I did not say I'm a Midwesterner. No, I did talk some shit about Michigan, but I'm from Michigan, so I can talk shit about Michigan.
And Jay was like, in Minnesota, we know what's up. That's right. We went blue.
We do.
Blah, blah. And then a day later, pretty much all the Midwestern. A day later, pretty much all the Midwestern states, except for Ohio, went blue. It's just like. You guys gave them. You guys just did. Your patience was just not there that night.
I mean, how surprised were you when you saw Arizona go blue?
They still called Arizona, right?
No, they haven't called it yet. Technically, no. Yeah. I actually was hearing that was a really good possibility over there, mainly because of the idiot bashing McCain. Like, I don't know what good that did him to do it. Like, why would you? Like, what political sense did that ever make? Yeah, like it didn't gain him any points with anyone to bash him. So,
and he just died. He had some reference around him.
Like once you die, that's like carte blanche
for like years. That's what. Not that I was ever on. I like Trump, but he was kind of funny. Like when pre 2016, he was kind of funny. He's like, "Oh, this is a joke. He's gonna run." And then when he started talking about how he doesn't. With McCain, he said he doesn't like his heroes to be caught. Mm-hmm. That's what got me.
Yeah, that was shady. Dude.
I've been a big McCain fan ever since he voted no on repealing Obamacare. So so Trump can go fuck himself. All right, let's talk some football. So you guys, should we update the standings first?
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's tell the world.
Brad wants to do that.
Let's tell the world what's going on.
So last week, well done, Brad. I will give you it. You decided to go against the grain on or 2 weeks ago, against the grain on a lot of these picks. So you picked up some wins. Brad right now is currently at $4. In second place is myself with $3, and Jay. I don't know what happened to you last week, Jay. Dude, we were all tied up, and you literally gained no ground. You're still sitting.
Well, I was trying to be. That's honestly what it was when. Let's see what happens this week. No research, man. Look at the other weeks when I do research. Look what happens when I'm just like whatever. Because you know what it is, man. I pick who I want to win. I think I do. I think I do fall victim to that sometimes. Yeah. It's like, and I'll convince myself. It's like my lawyering screws myself, right? Because I'll want a team to win and I'll want to be right, or I'll want to pick the upset, and then I'll rationalize in my brain why that's a good idea.
Did you say lawyers just screw everybody, including themselves?
No, I didn't.
Seems like that's what he said. Yeah.
That sounds actually, like what he said.
No, that's what the lamestream media would have you think. But suffice it to say. A very
we're
small
the independent
percentage.
Media, so it's a little bit. No,
so suffice it to say, a very, very small percentage of lawyers are what you would see depicted as, being the kinds that would be shady. Man, I'm a business maker. We make food happen.
Jay, had you not picked the spread on the Steelers-Ravens game, you would be down to $0.
Yeah, well, I gotta do something. Well, right, I'm down to $2.
What were his picks? Can I get a recap?
Yeah, so last week Jay took Oklahoma State over Oklahoma. Or no, over Texas, which we all lost that one. Texas won that game. He took Ohio State over Penn State, which was pretty easy. He took the Lions over the Colts, and the Colts won.
I was picking.
Yeah,
Brad took that one too.
He took the He did. We all. Yeah, he did. That's right. He took the Rams over the Dolphins, which. Me and him both just fucked.
I went on a 5-minute rant of why the Dolphins are going to win too, and then
you picked the Rams. Yeah, I remember that.
Dolphins are sexy, man.
Yeah, they are good.
And then we all picked the Steelers, but he took the spread on that one, so he got an extra point.
So I mean, really, I lost the Lions one, and then really the only one, and then me and Brad lost the Lions one.
So Xavier, let me explain this to you because I think I forgot to tell you this. So. We have the 5 games, and I gave you the spreads for the games, but you don't have to pick the spread for every game. You can pick the spread for one game, and if you guess the spread and the pick right, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't really matter. But if you guess the spread and the pick right, you get $2 as opposed to just the one.
Okay.
But if you only guess one right, let's say you guess, well, obviously, let's say you only guess the win and you don't guess the spread right, then you lose out. You don't get any points for that. So you have to guess them both together. So you have to be kind of strategic with your spread that you pick. Which, I mean, if you pick an
and I only
upset,
get one
ideally,
spread.
you should pick
Okay.
the spread. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Week 1, or first game, college football. Number 13, Wisconsin at your guys' Michigan Wolverines. Wisconsin is favored by 4.5 points.
Not my Wolverines.
You're wearing a fucking Michigan sweatshirt right now, okay? All right, you can start it off.
Don't want to talk.
You can
Don't want
start
to do
it
it.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this game. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in
You and Brad were dogging Wisconsin all like
I never dogged Wisconsin.
season.
No, I never was. No,
Yes,
we
you
were
guys
dogging their
were.
program.
You guys were saying that your guys' division or your guys' division
Yeah.
of the conference.
I stand by that.
whack,
I
and
stand by
Wisconsin
that.
was
And that's still
overrated.
true. We're not dogging Wisconsin. Wisconsin's the only good team in that division. Maybe Iowa.
You were saying that it was only Michigan and Wisconsin was not that good.
No, we were saying that that's all that comes out of that conference.
Yeah.
That's been-
Wisconsin's in a
I'll fully
division.
admit that I generally would say Michigan's a better team than Wisconsin. I did, and this year I don't think they are. But that doesn't change. I generally, as a general matter, I would say that, what is it? The East and West now, right? The Western Conference or the Eastern Conference is the more dominant conference. I don't think that anybody's going to question that.
All right,
This
so who
year-
are you picking?
I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Just no one? You don't want to pick anyone on this one?
I don't want to pick anyone, right? Well,
Has
'cause
Wisconsin
right,
practiced?
Well, that's what I'm
Why did
saying.
you pick this game, Chris?
I didn't even think that. Well, because this is an interesting game, right? Like I didn't even
Yeah.
think Wisconsin was going to play, like could come back with a program, and now that they are, so they haven't been practicing. Michigan's been practicing, but I think practicing's been hurting them. So I don't know. I think that
Did you just say practice has been hurting them?
Yeah, I think they've been worse, man. Like every week they're just like, "Rah!" like I don't know what
It
they're
took
doing.
me a
They're
second to pick that up too. I was like, wait, what? What did he just say?
So I'm not so sure. I think maybe they need to get some COVID over there so they can take a break.
Oh my
or,
God,
Or like,
hot
or
take.
Harbaugh needs to get COVID so he can go take a break. And
Xavier's
then maybe there's
eyes
somebody
just
else in
went
there.
very
Cases
wide.
are
after you
surging,
said that.
bro.
Yeah, no.
Ready to leave my house again.
And then you got Don Brown, who doesn't know what the hell I don't even know. The dude needs to take his Geritol.
Don Brown. All right.
He doesn't even know where he's at, dude. He has no idea how to use a defense. He has no idea how to scheme.
Dude.
He's like, his corners are just getting blasted off. Like, that's the formula. Literally, everybody went, oh, after they
Everybody
watched Michigan
sees it.
State,
Everybody
just
sees
launch
it.
them. Just launch. They don't care. They're either going to get a flag thrown on them.
Short crossing routes, dude. Like it's
The formula's
God.
there to just destroy him, and Don Brown is not capable enough to scheme against it to make up for his gaps. I think Wisconsin, after not playing, after having COVID, and is still going to come in and beat. And is that Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at Michigan.
it's at Michigan.
Yeah, I think they're
Which
gonna
doesn't
come
even matter. I
and
mean,
And
'cause-
Wisconsin's still favored by 4.5 points too.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're
No,
taking
it's
Wisconsin?
absolute. Jay,
No, go ahead, Brad. I didn't.
are you taking? No, who are you taking? You taking Wisconsin?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah, I'm taking Wisconsin.
All right, Brad. So you were very upset that I picked this game. Would you have preferred that I pick a Pac-12 game?
I wasn't upset. I mean, at this point,
the
maybe,
notorious
dude.
Pac-12 hater. Would you rather me?
Oh my
pick
god,
Oregon
dude!
At
I might
Washington
jump, dude. I
State?
might jump on the SC bandwagon. I might do this, man. At least I might be able to enjoy maybe 5 games out of this Pac-12. This is ridiculous, dude. All right, here's the thing, dude. The Indiana loss, or I'm sorry, when we lost into Michigan, lost to Indiana last week.
Mhm.
I can understand that. Indiana's a good team, dude. Indiana can hang with anybody. I would be really interested to see what Indiana does against maybe not Alabama, but I mean, obviously we saw it happen to Clemson, and then with like Notre Dame, or like
Indiana's ranked now.
dude. I want to see Indiana play Notre Dame.
Their offense is legit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Like I think like it's insane, man. Like they haven't been good since who was it? Like Randall L was there. Like it's
Well,
insane.
their
Anyway.
offense has always been pretty good.
Yeah. No, but their defense is stepping out, which is huge. So whatever. Okay, cool. I can take that Indiana loss, right?
When
But
you
this
think of
fucking
Indiana,
Michigan
you-
State loss? No, dude. Like that is just unforgivable, dude. Absolutely unforgettable. I don't even want to talk about it. You're absolutely right, Jay. I don't even think it's so much Harbaugh. It's dude, like Don Brown is just getting burnt and smoked, dude. Urban Meyer exposed that defense 2 years ago. when they put up like 65 points against us when we were ranked like number 4. Remember that? Michigan was ranked like number 4 and we were going to make the play of everything. And all of a sudden, Ohio State hangs up 65 on us because Urban Meyer figured out crossing routes against Don Brown's defense. And everybody's doing it now. Yeah. Like, it needs to stop.
And hitch and goes.
Yeah, dude. So anyways, dude, fuck it. Whatever, man. Let Michigan just blow everything this freaking year, and we'll get rid of a whole new coaching staff, and maybe we'll get past this whole like Michigan man thing, right?
They're never gonna get rid of Harbaugh, bro.
Like this Michigan, we need a Michigan man. Whatever, though, dude. I'm still taking him this game because why not?
You're taking Michigan in this game?
Yeah, let's do it.
But I knew he was going to, and I wanted to pick against him to catch back up.
Let's do it, man. Wisconsin hasn't practiced. I mean, they're
practice.
Still.
We're talking about practice.
Practice.
That's a good thing, according to Jay.
Yeah, dude.
We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice.
So yeah, whatever. Do you give me Michigan? Let's talk. I'm getting ready to talk some NFL after Xavier gives his pick.
All right,
here.
Xavier, as our celebrity prognosticator, where are you going?
It's dirty.
Where are you going?
Does he stick fingers in butts? Is that what that means?
Prognosticator. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
joking.
If I can make it all the way to the middle finger, you got to go in, bro. You got that.
I know you're not a big college football fan, but you got to make some pick here.
I'm gonna say Wisconsin, and I don't think Michigan's gonna stand a chance. I think this game's gonna be decided in the first half.
Ooh.
Can I take first half odds? No, I'm kidding.
You can, but it doesn't count for anything. All right, I'm taking Michigan
For the notoriety and respect, I'm gonna take it. They'll be up 2 touchdowns by the end of that first half.
I'm gonna take Wisconsin just to see if we can prove Jay's theory about you don't need to practice. And if they win,
no. The theory is that the coaching staff is making them worse. So Michigan specifically, not other people. I'm saying that Michigan specifically, they've been practicing and getting worse, and so I think the coaching staff is making them worse.
All right, cool. All right.
Shout out Jim Harbaugh.
So we're only doing one college game this week because the other games suck. The games that were good were postponed, so it's just not worth the time. So NFL, Chargers at Dolphins. Miami is a 1.5 point favorite at the moment. That is the most updated line I checked right before we came on.
Oh, wow, okay.
Jay, what say you?
So Chargers, I'm liking the Dolphins. Wait, Tua still starting? See, that's actually what scares me, honestly, the most about the Dolphins is because their defense, I feel like, maybe I haven't seen the numbers and I haven't ran them, right? But like, I feel like they've been playing really well.
You're the stat guy. You haven't seen the numbers?
You're the stat guy, Jay. What the fuck?
Well, I apologize. Okay, well, look, they're
Fired.
okay. So here you go. Well, they're only allowing.
So
okay, I have some stats. All right. So, Miami.
So defensive now. It's because it's his title.
What are the stats? I'm going to check them right now.
Yeah. So, they're only allowing about 20 points a game, right? Which is pretty damn good in the NFL. And then rushing yards a game, but they're allowing 131, which is not that great. That's been not kind of their Achilles heel, right? You can just run all over, but they're allowing less than 300 yards passing, but they're giving up a lot of yards per game. And same with Chargers, but what they're not doing is allowing people to score on them. And so that's been kind of key with them. Now, as far as their offense, it's just been dismal. Their rushing game is non-existent, and Tua, I don't think he's ready, right? I think they're a better team with Fitz in, and so that's why this matchup kind of scares me. Despite the Chargers, despite the Chargers record, right? I don't think the Chargers record reflects the talent that's on that team. You got a young quarterback in Herbert, right? And I think their running game needs to get figured out. I think injuries, COVID, I don't know if it has to do with just COVID being in the air, but I don't trust that offense either. So you have 2 young rookie quarterbacks, 2 crappy run games, and I don't think the Chargers defense is especially good either. They're allowing 27 points, so the Chargers have a worse defense. Instinctually I want to go with the Miami Dolphins. The record says it, the spread says it, the stats say it. I feel, the only X factor is like, who's going to do better, Tua or Herbert?
Again, preview of the future right here, honestly, 2 young quarterbacks. Yeah. I wasn't laughing at you, Jay. Nothing about what you were saying. I was laughing at just Brad's visible, just disgust the entire time for everything.
I'm over here stretching, man. You got to put me in on this, dude. This is
Brad,
ridiculous.
clearly you disagree with him. And
all right, let me tell you, Jay. I'm going to Steve Naismith. Here we go.
Tell him what's going on.
All right, let me tell you something, Mr. Jonathan Mansker. Okay. How about them Cowboys? All right, dude, hold on. Obviously, you haven't been watching football this year, man. All right, let's get to it, dude. That Dolphins D is nasty. I understand you just gave us a bunch of stats. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna go against you. I mean, that's
and
he just pulled 400 yards a game.
He just pulled those stats out
and
of
that's
nowhere.
fine. I'm not. You know what? I'm not.
I said what they were doing is holding touchdowns. Right. I was saying that they're stopping touchdowns.
So I'm not gonna go against you. I'm not gonna go against you. Okay.
And I said, the eye test.
Hold on, Jay. You got to talk. It's my turn now. You got to talk. It's my turn now.
You just okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hold it to him.
All right. Defense like they passed the eye test, right? Like the defense looks good.
Yeah,
they're probably giving up a lot. Where I started itching to get in this conversation here, and you got me is you talking about how there's 2 rookie quarterbacks. And you don't know what's going on with them, right? Justin Herbert is probably going to be offensive rookie of the year. I think over Joe Burrow.
2,117 touchdowns, 5 interceptions this season.
Killing it. Tua Tagovailoa obviously he's only played 2 games. The first game they didn't really do a lot. He went through for like 90 yards. They didn't want to do a lot with him, right? Excuse me.
Why did you develop a New York accent? Where did that
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, what? You're very.
I like it and I respect it.
It's killing it. Anyways, last week going against Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray, even though I'm a huge Seahawks fan and Russ is my guy, I think Kyler Murray is the dark horse for MVP this year. Kyler Murray is tearing it up, and Tua gave it to him.
Yeah,
gave it to him. Beat him at his own game. What's big about Tua is like nobody wants to talk about him being left-handed. When they run that play action out to the left, it screws the defense's mind so much. That little bit of an inch, like defenses don't know how to play it. The ball comes out a little bit differently, man. I'm telling you, when he gets moving,
it don't even look right,
dude. No, and like the reads he's making, his anticipation of knowing where the receivers are going to be, he's light years beyond a rookie or a rookie who has even started in 2 games so far. Like, so I think this is a premier matchup between these two.
When did they switch Fitzpatrick and to it like week 6?
Yeah. I mean, the bye week.
Week 7.
Jay's just a big Fitzpatrick guy.
They just won what? 4 or 5 in a row.
It's the beard. It's because they both have beards. He's got a beard bias, obviously.
Let's get straight. This first game, Tua had like 100 yards, man. Like,
and that's what I said, but they didn't have to. There's a game plan. They didn't have to.
And what you're saying is exactly what I said about him. I said that they're going to use what he is. He's a left-handed guy. I said exactly they're going to play action. You're going to roll him out, get him out of the pocket. It was about the Rams game, right? Get him away from Aaron Donald, which is exactly what they did. They used him as serviceable, right? They just try to minimize his risk, and they're slowly adding a little bit more on his plate. I think he's going to do good, but I'm not ready to crown this kid. It's still an unknown, right? He's a rookie quarterback. What, 3rd game? I'm not ready to just be like, yeah. And then Justin Herbert, sure, he's been doing good, but the guy's QBR is only 71.3. Like, it's not. It's a good QBR, but it's not like he's lights out for a rookie.
You're the only person in the world right now that thinks that Justin Herbert's not a good quarterback.
I never said.
He's never said he's not a good quarterback.
I'm sorry. I didn't not a quarterback is not. I still
right. Is not. It's not. Dude, he's not pulling out wins. They're not winning, and their defense is not.
He's doing everything he could do.
He's doing what he can, dude. I'm not ready to crown this. Look, he's doing really good, and I do appreciate what you said, and I feel like I did maybe not give him credit where credit's due. That being said, I still don't think I have enough confidence in Justin Herbert to sit there and be like, yeah, he's going to carry that team to win over the Dolphins.
Right, and I'm not saying that either.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that with your comments of just looking at 2 rookie quarterbacks, like we don't know, like it's. I mean, you kind of pass it off like it. You pass it off like it wasn't like.
It was toss up.
It's not gonna be a good watch. I don't know.
I didn't mean. I had nothing about a good watch. It'll be a fun one. There's rookie quarterbacks are the best to watch, but
Brad,
to me,
you're kind of throwing words in his mouth a little bit.
Yeah, to me, it's the 2 rookie quarterbacks, or it's kind of a wash in that they're just 2 rookie quarterbacks. You don't know what you're going to get. They're both really talented athletes. For me, it was exactly to your first point, though, right? Is that Dolphins defense, and that's what I was saying. I said the Chargers defense is allowing 27 points a game versus the Dolphins 20 points a game. The Dolphins, and the first thing I said too is, despite allowing the 400 yards, they have passed that eye test, right? Watching them, it's like, and I don't know if I'm being fooled, but like they seem like they have a really good defense. And so that's kind of where I was at with that. Like, hey, you got 2 rookie quarterbacks. I'm not ready to just like put it on their shoulders, especially when, so at that point I'm looking at the defenses, and I think the Dolphins defense is going to win.
And I guess that's my point. Whereas I think maybe not too so much, but at least Justin Herbert has put games on his shoulders this year, and they just
now he's going to rock the Dolphins defense, and I'm going to look like an asshole.
So, Brad, you're taking the Chargers?
No, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah. I like Herbert a lot. What the fuck
are we arguing about?
But he just had a lot of bad matchups, and I think it goes to show that Miami did the right thing about saving Tua, because the Chargers didn't save Herbert, and he's been in there getting beat up, sacked. This team's still figuring it out. They had Fitzpatrick in there doing all that shit. And then they got a big win off of San Francisco. Team was hot, excited. Then they're like, let's make the switch now. Everybody's clicking on all cylinders. Everybody's in stride. So you throw Tua in there with a hot team. The next game, they whooped up on the Jets, had a bye week, and now they won 4 straight. Miami's fucking crushing it. They're going to be red hot. I don't see them losing a game, especially not this game. And I think the Chargers, this game, I meant. They might lose another game.
I was ready to go.
My bad.
Have they played Buffalo yet?
I misspoke. No, I don't see them losing this game. The Chargers are going to have to do a lot to stop that hot freight train, and I don't think they have it this time around.
Freight train.
Hot freight train, and that's Tua.
Big lefty, baby.
Dude's fucking moving it.
I do think the plan was to have him come in after the bye the whole time.
Yeah, and I honestly was kind of skeptical on Tua until I saw what they did to Arizona because I was high on Kyler this season.
Everybody
right now.
is,
and honestly,
man.
I wasn't high on him going into the season, but that dude fucking can move the ball, and he's fucking picking apart defenses.
Hold up on your Kyler talk because that game's coming up next. So let's save that for the next one.
For sure.
That entire argument was the most fucking pointless shit I've ever heard in my life because you both picked Miami at the end of it.
We weren't going either way. No, dude.
You're talking about them, yeah.
My whole point of the argument was that Jay was just passing off these quarterbacks as like, you're just rookie quarterbacks. And I'm like, no, like these guys are worth talking about.
Guys,
I was just saying that's not the determinative factor for me in deciding who the
I
winner
get it.
was.
You guys were arguing about the quarterbacks, but still, at the end of the day, you still picked Miami. So, but I mean, whatever. Hey,
Herbert's playing better than a lot of rookies. Better than
Herbert's fucking legit, bro.
That's what I'm saying, guys.
Really
like,
well.
I mean,
yeah.
Tua's gonna be legit too. He fucking lit up last week, and I'm in on that. Miami's gonna make the playoffs. They're so fucking good. I called this beginning of the season. They're good. Stocked up on their defense and free agency, and everybody forgot about that. And a lot of those names came from the fucking New England Patriots, and everybody was high on the Patriots coming this season. It's like they still got that big defense. They're still a machine. It's still Bill Belichick. But look at Patriots defense this year. They're giving up a shit ton of points because half their
defense. They're gonna figure it out.
Hold on, half their defense is on Miami, and the other half decided to sit out the season. Miami's defense is legit. Xavier Howard, Kyle Van Noy, all those fucking guys are killing it. Their offense is coming together. Obviously they don't have much of a run game, but they'll develop that. They'll get it. They're just trying to figure out the whole running back situation. Tua killed it last week. He's going to kill it this week, especially against that broken down defense from the Chargers, missing half their players. Joey Bosa's out now on top of, I think Melvin Ingram's back now, but on top of Derwin James and Chris Harris out. Somehow, some way, Justin Herbert is so good that he keeps all these games super close. I don't understand it because he doesn't really have anybody to throw to except for Keenan Allen. But I think this game will be close, but Miami's going to win this game. Miami's going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be the number 7.
Miami's good.
They're going to get in the playoffs. They're good. They're good football.
Yeah.
They're good football.
Miami next.
They won't beat the Bills.
Chargers, they get Denver, then they get the Jets, and they get Cincinnati. Those are the next 3 games. You think they're going to lose those 3 games? I don't see it.
All right. So next up on the list, what, Brad? You got something to say? Let's say it.
I'm saying Miami's not losing the game the rest of the year.
Maybe not, right?
Somebody marked that. Xavier,
should I make that bet? I let it slip.
I'm typing in my notes right now in parentheses, not losing a game the rest of the year.
Some say they're better than the 72 Dolphins.
Whoa.
Okay, Xavier, if they don't lose a game for the rest of the season, if they win out, we'll give the winnings.
They do play Kansas City.
But if not, then you owe us $50.
Oh, but then they just played the
hold on.
The Raiders. I don't know, man.
Chiefs. They play the Chiefs this year.
Yeah, they do.
You ready to call that right now? We're getting off track, but tell me right now, you're willing to call the Dolphins or the Chiefs?
Yeah, baby, let's do it.
All right, let's look at their
more
schedule.
L's.
Hold on, guys. Let's look at their schedule real quick.
Let's do it.
So they got the Chargers, obviously. Then they got the Broncos after that. The Jets. Those are 2 winnable games. The Bengals, probably a winnable game, but you never know. Then they have the Chiefs, then the Patriots. That's easy. And then they have the Raiders and the Bills. They end the season off.
They don't have the Bills.
So 3, maybe 4 games that
they do.
I see them losing 2 of those. The only 2 they're gonna lose are the Chiefs and the Bills, I think.
You think they beat the Raiders?
I didn't scroll down and see week 17. That's on me.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
you had so much faith
the
in the. You had so much
the
faith
Raiders
in the
suck.
Raiders.
Fuck out of here.
They're leveling. They're still playing.
Now you're
well.
just talking shit.
The defense is fallen. I feel like
Brad was so high on the Raiders 4 weeks ago. Now he's jumped off the cliff after they won
wanted to
3
be Ben.
straight.
Dude,
As long as Derek
I
Carr
wanna
is
be
the
behind that
quarterback
team.
of the Oakland Raiders, they will not go to the Super Bowl.
They're not the Oakland Raiders, so I guess you're right.
Whatever. Who doesn't matter. Get the fuck out of here. Can't stand them. Hey, I bet they can hear you rooting for them all the way in Las Vegas.
They probably can. I'm closer to Las Vegas than I am Oakland. All right, so let's move on to the next game. Bills at Cardinals. Arizona is favored by 2.5 points. Jay, what you thinking?
leading off of me again. It's always me. All right. Geez, Bills at Cardinals. I don't know. I do know it's Cardinals, man. Here's the deal. The Bills, they've been playing really well, clearly, but I don't know what it is, man. They just seem kind of suspect. Like they're pulling these wins out by something's falling apart. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, they just don't seem, I just can't quite put my finger on it. They're a good team. I don't know if it's their run game. I don't know, but Singletary was kind of getting it. Their defense, maybe that's not, just something about them. And then despite what happened with, last week, I still think Kyler Murray. I still think that.
What happened last week, Jay?
Well, no, nothing happened last week. Where am I? Weren't they on a bye?
The Bills?
The Bills?
No, the Cardinals.
No, the Cardinals were on a bye. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say the Bills. Josh Allen lit it up last week.
No, was it the week before that they lost? I'm confused. I'm sorry. I'm COVID.
They did they beat the Seahawks, right?
2 weeks ago they beat the Seahawks, and the Bills. Are you guys just secretly trying to find ways to remind me that the Seahawks lost to both of these teams?
Oh, exactly what we're doing. The Washington.
I know the Cardinals beat them. I didn't. I forgot the Bills. Oh, that's right. I forgot the Bills beat the Seahawks.
Dude, Josh Allen was looking like Joe
Jay, did you know what happened to the Seahawks?
You know what? I didn't even pay attention to that game. Now that I'm thinking, I didn't watch a second of it.
So you're not trying to be a dick. You legitimately forgot.
I legitimately forgot. I wasn't trying to know, man. I was stripping a bunch of wallpaper and doing a bunch of projects this weekend, so I was half watching the games and half
stripping.
Yeah, you know me. I gotta make them dollars.
Nice.
All right, who are you going with, Jay?
I'm still going with the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
What's a strip club like during a pandemic?
What do you? I don't know. It depends on where Brad's going, because I might just pick opposite of him. But I think right now I'm thinking Cardinals. I still think I like Kyler Murray to go in there. I just don't like the Buffalo Bills.
All right, Brad.
I'm gonna look at stats. I might change my mind.
I think all right.
No take backs. Just kidding.
Forget about what happened last week. I think the Bills are a really good team. I think they were missing a lot on defense. They didn't have Micah Hyde or Tre'Davious White, which are two big defensive backs for them for a couple of weeks. And they got them back last week, and you see it helped. They gave Russ a lot of fit, and he turned the ball over 3 times. And I think that's going to happen again to Kyler. I think they're probably going to get 2 turnovers on him. It's going to be a shootout. Josh Allen is playing at another level right now, man.
Another level,
dude. Like, it's so hard to tackle that guy. It's like the early days of Big Ben. He's more mobile than Big Ben was, but you can't. But dude, you can't bring him down, man. I can't tell you how many times, because the Seattle pass rush last week was getting to him, dude, but they could not bring him down. He's out there looking like Lamar Jackson against these guys, dude. It was killing me.
Seattle also has the worst fucking pass defense in the league. Dude.
Hold on. But we got better. But we got better because we had Jamal Adams back last week, and we had Carlos Dunlap. So it was a little bit better. We had 6 or 7. We had 6 or 7 sacks on him. But I'm saying we had so much more pressure on him then that we should have had more even.
2,500 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Pretty damn good.
Yeah. That's what it was. It was against the Patriots. He only pulled down 150 yards against them. That's
completing
what it was.
68.9% of his passes, so 69% of his passes.
The Bills' defense is a lot better now. They got their defensive backs back. I think Tremaine Edmonds is coming into his own finally, like 3 years in now. He's coming around the edge. He's causing problems. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a shootout. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals win, but I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think the Bills are, if they can get everything together and stay healthy, they're going to be a force, man. They really will. I'm going to go with the Bills.
All right, Xavier.
Both teams are hot, I think. Both quarterbacks are hot. I think Josh Allen's coming off of a solid week against the Seahawks. And I really like the Bills, but it's still, the whole game, I felt like the Seahawks were going to come back. And I was more disappointed that that freaking Russell
you were
Wilson,
disappointed? You were disappointed?
I was disappointed that he didn't do his magic and come back more than I was happy for the Bills doing it. You know what I mean? it just seemed like the Seahawks let it slip away than the Bills winning. But that being said, they all real good, and he's Josh Allen is throwing it like a vet. But Kyler Murray's having an amazing season. It said I remember just looking online, he's having a better season than Lamar did last year, and when Lamar was making his MVP run. So, he's just throwing touchdowns to anybody who will catch it, and not just Larry Fitz. And he's just super versatile, and he's just so hard to tackle. No, I'm going to the Cardinals. They're the shit.
Dude, what's crazy too is Christian Kirk too. Like they have 3 receivers deep, right?
Yeah, and
like
Christian Kirk's not even that good.
You think about Nook, and then you think about Larry Fitzgerald just catching all the under routes. But then at least once a game, dude, Christian Kirk is just zooming for like a 70-yard touchdown.
And they still have arguably the best receiver in the fucking league, and DeAndre Hopkins.
And Nook,
wild.
Yeah.
And you know what's even more interesting about that is they're not even that great of a passing team right now. They're actually the reason why, and I'm glad I went and I double-checked the stats to kind of confirm what I felt, and the stats do, I feel like, back up. It's the running game, dude. Arizona running game, 162 yards a game, dude. Come to Bills 100 yards a game. That's a 60-yard difference.
And the crazy
their
thing
passing yards are only at 266 for Kyler Murray and them, and that's with all that talent on the outside too.
And Jay, the craziest thing about that is their leading rusher is Kyler.
It's Kyler Murray.
543 yards.
He's
got 8 touchdowns on the ground, dude.
I know.
He's got 2,700 yards from scrimmage and fucking 20.
So you have to try to contain him, and then also
That's
Nook,
wild.
and then Fitz, and then Kirk.
I think they said Kyler Murray.
Edmonds has been playing.
Kyler Murray is the number 8 fantasy running back right now. Like if you were running, like that's where his stats are at.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
This is easily the game of the week because it's pretty much the 2 frontrunners for MVP going head to head.
You think they are?
Yeah, in my opinion.
Josh Allen and Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Russ is in that conversation too.
I don't see Josh Allen as an MVP candidate yet.
Yeah,
Josh Allen was like the front runner for the first 5 weeks.
He's crushing it. I still don't see he hasn't done enough to really pull away. I think
Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray are both dark. Like Patrick Mahomes is doing Patrick Mahomes things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but Kyler Murray, you're absolutely right though. It's Kyler Murray is like a dark horse for nobody's talking about.
Yeah. I'm taking Arizona too. This is a tough one though, dude. Especially you make a good point, Brad, with their the Bills have some key players on their defense coming back. So, but I just think Kyler Murray is just too hot, and that run game is too good. And I don't see, even with that talent that the Bills have coming back, I don't see them slowing down that Arizona offense. It's just like a machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like going against Derrick Henry. No matter what, he's gonna get his.
Yeah, you're not going to slow it down, but I mean, you just try to just get it.
Contain
one more. Yeah, one more. As John Madden used to say, the person that scores the most points wins the game. Try to get one more point.
I definitely didn't like losing to Miami. No way.
So I see what you're doing here, Brad. You're trying to create
that's
some
true.
distance, so you're going off the grid a couple times here. I see what you're doing.
Well,
in terms of the overall standings of the season.
That's good. I had planned on. That's what I was going to. I wanted to pick opposite of him anyway, so I'm really glad that he's making it really easy.
Am I going off the grid, or you guys are all picking wrong?
Well,
you're
okay.
up to that, right?
Also, hey, real quick, just a heads up, just because we were just kind of talking about the quarterback, and when you're talking about MVPs, it's basically always just talking about a quarterback. Yeah. So just by ratings alone, just quarterback ratings, so not QBR, that Pro Football Focus, but Aaron Rodgers at 1, and Russell Wilson at 2. Patrick Mahomes at 3, Drew Brees, Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill, Deshaun Watson, and then Josh Allen. And Justin Herbert right behind Josh Allen.
What is this for? Sorry.
This is QB rating. This is our quarterback rating. So just
okay.
So this is just at a quarterback rating. So Josh Allen's in the top 10.
I guarantee Russ was up there.
He was number 2.
He was number 2. Yeah, he's right.
No,
behind Rodgers.
No. I'm saying I bet Russ was number 1 before last week.
Over Aaron Rodgers, maybe. I don't know. Aaron's been pretty on point with his throwing this week.
Didn't they get beat up on by the Vikings?
That is true.
He's got the Megatron of our generation, this new generation. DK Metcalf is just a freaking nature.
Well, why don't you save that?
I would love throwing that guy.
Why don't you save the DK Metcalf talk for this?
He's like the Nostradamus.
Why don't
of
you
what we're
save
doing.
the DK Metcalf talk for this
Bro,
next game?
I'm
trying to
saying
segue
Xavier.
for you, bro.
I'm
Read
saying
the room.
Xavier is like the Nostradamus because he keeps just starting to talk about the next player we're about to talk about.
You keep talking. Yeah, you keep bringing up the next game before I introduce it. God, it's not a segue.
Expertly segue into it. All right, like you know what? Get out of here.
Chris has to
I'm
give
just trying to
his-
help you here. All
He
right.
did give us picks. Yeah, that was a great segue.
I gave my pick. It was Arizona.
Yeah.
All right. So the next game is obviously, since Xavier's been alluding to it for 10 minutes, Seahawks at Rams. The Rams are favored. I don't understand this one. I mean, I guess they're home, but home and away doesn't really matter this season. The Rams are favored by 1.5.
That's wrong.
What's that?
Yeah, that's wrong.
All right, Xavier. Since you keep itching to talk about this game, why don't you start it off?
I'm not a Seahawks fan. I just want to say that first of all. I like the Seahawks. They're a great team. The defense isn't that fantastic, but the Rams suck, and I just don't understand why like they're doing so well. This is ridiculous. When you first sent me this list of like all the pick'ems, I was like, why? Are they plus 2 and 1.5? Oh, okay, that makes
It's
sense.
a close line. That's mainly the reason why I picked it.
I mean, yeah, I get that it's a divisional game, and like they're always like a little bit closer than say interleague play and shit like that. But no, Seahawks all day. Let's do this.
Yeah, this line is way too close. I feel like I don't know like what Vegas was thinking on this one, and I would assume. I mean, this definitely moves in a couple days, right? Like maybe to like 3.5 or something like that. Like, I feel like if you're a bettor, like why wouldn't you take Seattle and to cover like easily, in my opinion. I don't know. Jay, what are you picking?
Well, I know Brad's going to take Seattle, so I'm going Rams.
Oh, just to get some distance.
Well, I already knew he was as soon as I saw that list. So I was like, cool, picking the Rams. But and then let me go figure out and argue to myself why I'm going to pick the Rams. So I went out. All right. So, all right. Well, here's where it comes down to. It's absolutely Russell Wilson and that amazing offense. And can they stop, DK and Tyler Lockett and
no,
what was that third guy?
No, they can't.
Yeah, no, and so it's but if you look at it, so
I'll answer
the Rams,
for you, Jay, no.
why are they here? You said why are they doing so well? So here's the deal: they're actually on offense, they're putting up 405 yards a game, and that's compared to the 430 yards a game of Seahawks. So the Rams are putting up yards. Okay, and as far as points per game, they're only putting up 24, so they're not converting those into points, whereas Seahawks are points machines. Now that point machine is going to have to go up against Aaron Donald and that defense that is allowing sub 20 points a game, which is wild in the NFL. It's allowing 19 points a game, man. Like that's a tough defense. I'm not suggesting at all by any means that you're going to contain Russ, DK, and that stuff. But it's not about containing it. It's like tourniqueting it, right? It's about stopping the bleeding just enough. And the Rams, like I just alluded to, do have a good offense. They're putting up 405 yards a game. They're putting up 24 points a game, but that's average against the NFL. That's not against the worst defense in the NFL. So you take that 24 points and add at least another touchdown or two onto that. And then you compare that with the average points a game. So the Seahawks are going against one of the best defenses in the NFL. And I think that it's going to average on to maybe a little bit of a high scoring game, but
dude, you lost me halfway through this. This is just so many
I think the Rams, I ultimately think it's going to be the Rams are going to put enough pressure on Russ that he's going to have to do what he does, which is he's excellent at. And I know Brad knows that he's amazing at on the run when you pressure him and you put him on the move. But at the same time, if you can contain him and keep him from rolling out, which I think the Rams are pretty good at doing, although Tua might beg to differ.
Rams are coming off a bye, I would say.
They're rested. There you go. That's another good point. It's at home. It's a divisional game. All divisions, regardless, always play close. I mean, usually at least, right? Like unless they're just really lopsided. So I don't know, man. I think the Seahawks are in a little bit of a slump. I think the offense is going to hum, but ultimately it's going to be the Seahawks defense that'll be their downfall.
So for the listeners who aren't watching the visual medium of the YouTube channel, during all that, whatever the fuck that was that Jay was doing, Brad decided to get up and
in-depth analysis.
And it was in-depth. It was very in-depth. Touche. Brad decided to get up and change his entire outfit into just bright green Seahawks gear. So that's where we're at. Go ahead.
And
Brad.
he's flexing.
He's flexing his fat.
Which doesn't make any sense because his shirt is already torn. What does he need flex for?
I had sleeves here a second ago. They just they fell off.
Oh, They fill up.
First off, Jay, your mom's in a slump. Okay, actually not a slump.
Burn.
That's A, and 2.
I was gonna say, is there
nobody-
is there a B? No, there's not a B. We're just gonna go straight to 2.
No, there's a 2. There's a 2.
I thought he was
contains
in,
Russell Wilson.
Seahawks are gonna win, and that's
Nobody
it.
contains Russell Wilson. Okay, let's get out of here with that. Okay. These games are always close, guys. To get serious here, I know why the line's so tight. These games always come down to the last second play. Even when the Rams sucked, like when Jeff Fisher was their coach and before they had Jared Goff and like they were in St. Louis, like these games always came down to last possession. I think one of the only losses in 2013 we had was to the Rams, like the last, and the Rams only won like 4 games that year. So, divisional game, rivalry game, it's really close. The Seahawks are going to give up 54 points this game, and it's going to happen. Jared Goff's going to have 564 yards passing. Robert Woods is going to have 3 touchdowns. But you know what? Russ and DK are going to have a career day, and he's probably going to have 3 touchdowns to lock it too. And we're going to pull this off, dude. It's going to be really high scoring. I don't know. I think it's going to be good. So we'll see.
So you're taking Seattle, right?
Yeah, obviously taking Seattle.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure if like, because if I take the spread then too, because I can get it if they lose. I guess.
Why wouldn't you take the spread? They're the underdog.
I haven't taken.
Honestly, I kind of forgot about all that too.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you take the spread? They're the underdog.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You gonna take them with the Minnesota Bears game next? Or you gonna? I mean.
Well, because the Bears are underdogs in that one, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is I'm going against do I really believe myself it's going to be close, or do I think this game's just going to be a blowout?
I think this moment proves how much of a fan you actually are. Because if you don't take the spread, I think that you're just full of shit. Obviously.
Yeah, let's do it. I think it's going to be. I think final score is going to be like 58-50.
Okay.
6.
So Xavier, do you want to take the spread now? Xavier, you there? Oh, he froze. All right.
Yes, I am. I just I don't. No. I'd rather take the Minnesota Chicago one.
Okay.
So I was going to take the Dolphins. I was thinking about taking the Dolphins Chargers, but since I'm sitting here in Minnesota and since Brad took, well, we'll get to that. I think I might.
We'll get to that.
Jay's whole thing here now is just to try to come back and beat me.
Why does he hate you? What did you do to him?
Yeah.
He's first place.
Who hurt you, Jay?
Who hurt you, Jay? Yeah.
It's just anybody's in first place.
Is this green blinding anybody else? I look ridiculous.
Oh my god, I should.
You do look ridiculous.
You look so ridiculous. It's not even funny.
I wish I was.
I wish they had chroma key on. Oh, if you change your background, maybe it'll take the green and it'll change your shirt.
Well, I just be
Remember when Drew Brees saved the city of New Orleans from Hurricane Katrina?
We're not. So for the listeners who aren't watching on the YouTube again, Xavier's wearing a Drew Brees jersey. It's a long story. He has a long history with the Drew Brees jersey. He wears it.
I just love Drew Brees.
And a lot of interesting events.
He's an American hero. He saved that city. The levees broke, and he looked at that hurricane, and he said, "Go long." And he fucking just through the Gulf of Mexico.
All right, so I'll make my pick really quick then. Since
they just called Arizona for Biden.
Hey!
Oh, nice.
Whoa! Hey.
Anyway. I'm going to take Seattle. I don't get why this line's so close. The Rams have done nothing to make me think that they're a good football team. They just had a shitty schedule. So Seattle, and I'm taking the spread too, because if you don't, you're fucking stupid.
Brad made good points. Divisional games are always close. He's hella right.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, even when...
But dude, the spread's only 1.5.
That is pretty close, but I don't know.
I'm telling you, man. Look at that.
There's only 1.5. It's basically who's going to win. You pick who's going to win.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, they lost
honestly,
to
like just off the top of my head, like in the last 10 meetings, I can only remember one game that's been a blowout, and that's when the Rams gave it to us. Like it was like 3 years ago. They gave it to us up in Seattle, and they beat us. By,
I believe you, but you're saying it's been less than a point.
Dude, honestly, like look back at it, man. It's been pretty close.
I don't know.
It may have been a point,
the
but
Rams played
with,
Buffalo. It was a shootout. And I think they lost by a field goal, like 35-32, some shit like that. Yeah, and then they just lost to San Francisco by 8. And that was just a defensive, running all day, boring ass game. God, I couldn't stand that game.
Hey, wait, hold on. How many wins do the Rams have? Because I still have that bet going with Jackson. that
Like
they're not
5-3?
gonna,
They
that
are
they're not going to win.
5-3 right now.
I say I got one more to give. So I made a bet with Jackson that they're not going to win 7 games this year.
Yeah, for the listeners, Jackson Schlater, you
Ooh.
guys have heard him on this podcast before. Brad made a preseason bet with him, which was they won't win
I'm
more than
gonna say
7
you're gonna
games.
lose
Is that what you
that
said, Brad?
because of the demise of
Yeah.
the Niners.
Well, don't nod because the listeners can't see you nod, so you have to. I need visual. I need audio
Oh my God.
responses.
Sorry, I can talk over the sneezing.
Sorry, I can't help it. It's
Oh, this is
involuntary.
falling apart, man. Hey, Chris, can you edit around this?
No.
Well, listeners
So
at
Brad,
home who aren't watching
hold
the
on,
YouTube,
hold
I
on,
just
Xavier,
sneezed.
Xavier. All right, Xavier, thank you. Brad, what did you? Anyway, so it was 7 wins, yes.
Yes, I bet that I went through their schedule because Jackson was saying some shit how they're going to win like 14 games or something. He said something ridiculous, right? I believe that it was on this podcast. It was
14
like
and 2.
Yeah, 14-2, and I called BS real quick. Right along that where he
Did
said
you
that
say more than 7?
he said all right, 2 big ones he said that I had to jump on was he said the Bengals were going to go undefeated and Joe Burrow's going to MVP. And then he said that the Rams were going 14-2, and I said you're full of shit. I went through their schedule and I counted 6
There's
wins.
no way.
Yeah. So he was joking for both those, but when Brad called him out on him, it was just straight ego, and he had to double down on it. So he took the bet. All right, let's move on to the final game of the week. Vikings at Bears. Minnesota's favored by 2.5 points. Jay started off for us for the final game.
The Dalvin Cook show, man. That he's back. I think
From your homeland of Minnesota.
That's right, from the homeland of Minnesota here, where I'm stationed right now. You know, just kicking it in the frozen tundra. Got my fire in the chimney, ready to go. Look, despite the ailing Kirk Cousins and that abysmal and terrible decision to pick him up, they're still putting up 27 points a game, which isn't bad. But, you know, especially when you compare that to the Bears and whatever they have going on in offense, they're putting up 19 points a game. Their defense isn't bad, right? They're allowing 21 points a game. The Bears defense is the Bears defense. It's not the best Bears defense, but it's, you know, it's clearly doing its thing. The Vikings defense, however, is hot garbage. But that said, I think with that performance against the Packers, man, especially, I think having Dalvin Cook back, having him running that ball, I think they're going to pound that rock. I don't think the Bears are going to be able to stop it. And I think it's more than that. It's going to be Dalvin Cook and then Madison and a lot of short passes. I think they're realizing they got to take it out of the hands of Kirk Cousins, right? I think Kirk Cousins is losing you when you put it. Well, and that said, a lot of times game script has forced them, right? They'll go down really quick. They're, like I said, their defense has been terrible and they're giving up major points early. And so they're forced to have Cousins start bombing it all over the place. And then that's just not what you want Cousins to do. And so I think if they can keep this game on the ground now with Dalvin Cook and they keep the pace slow, that you don't have to worry about some crazy offensive powerhouse and the Bears suddenly running up the score on you, right? So hopefully that can keep that game script on the ground. And if that's the case, Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback in that sense when it's just little dump off passes, little crossing routes, when you're running the ball well enough that you can commit the play action and really, really run that. And I think
When you keep it simple to like game manager type of style football.
Absolutely. So I think that they're going to be worried about Dalvin Cook. I think you're loading up on Dalvin Cook, and I think that will hopefully open up the play action for him and allow him to you know. And I don't think they're going to put up monster numbers, but I think they're going to do better. Their offense against the Bears defense will do better than the Bears piss poor offense against the garbage Vikings defense. And I'm taking the spread on this.
Taking the spread on this. And sorry, you said Minnesota, right?
Minnesota, yeah.
So visual update for the listeners. Brad now has a new Seattle Seahawks outfit on. He went with the traditional home blue jerseys. If you are watching on YouTube, he's doing a little twirl right now. Cam Chancellor
showing us his ass right now.
Showing us his butt. And he changed his hat as well, dark blue hat. So, Brad, here's my question to you before you do your analysis. Kirk Cousins, does he win you a game or does he lose you a game? Let's find out what the Jesse Cohn philosophy on Kirk Cousins as a quarterback is.
I think if you ask Jesse about 32 quarterbacks in the league, I think he tells you 30 quarterbacks are not going to win you a game or lose you a game. He's going to say Patrick Mahomes wins you a game, and he's going to say Kirk Cousins loses you a game.
Agreed.
It's hard to argue.
I mean,
Kirk Cousins is going to lose him a game.
It's a good point. So does that mean that you're not taking Minnesota?
I mean, first off, I've never liked Kirk Cousins. Always all the way back to the Sparty days. I think Jay made a bunch of good points. if they can just run the ball with Dalvin Cook
Yeah, I agree.
and keep it simple, they'll be fine. I don't have too much faith in the Bears. Really good defense. Nick Foles, definitely not going to win you a game. Yeah, I don't
He's
know.
not going to lose you the Super Bowl.
He's not going to lose you a Super Bowl,
Good
right?
Point. That's a good point. He is going to win you a Super Bowl. Philly special.
He wins you those games.
No, I think Jay's all over it. The Vikings have something special going on right now. They're just feeding Dalvin Cook the ball, and he's doing big things. Yeah, I got Vikings all day.
All right, Xavier.
I'm going to say for the reasons that Jay brought up, they're going to lose the game. I think Dalvin Cook is super hot, and I think Chicago knows that. And I think what they want to do is put the ball in Kirk Cousins' hands. Chicago wants Kirk Cousins to throw the ball. And if you make it Nick Foles versus Kirk Cousins, the passing game, I think that's where Chicago has a better shot, and let their defense try to step up and try to stuff Dalvin Cook as he's coming up. Will they do a good job of that? I don't know, but I'm going to bet on it. I'm going to go Chicago.
And you're taking the spread on this one too, right?
Yes.
So here's my whole issue with this game. It comes down to one factor, which is what Minnesota does best. And what do they do best? They run the ball because they have one of the best running backs in the league. Well, the Chicago Bears have one of the best defensive lines in the league. So it's not going to be an easy, typical, Dalvin Cook fucking getting 170 yards and 2 touchdowns type of game. He's gonna have a problem running against this defense, in my opinion. And when it comes down to it, then you have to talk about, okay, so how are you going to win this game offensively? You have to get in the air. I don't feel comfortable with either of these quarterbacks right now, but I do feel comfortable with one side of the ball and the versatility that they can do offensively, and that's with Minnesota. They just have so much talent. Whereas Chicago doesn't have that. They have Allen Robinson, and that's pretty much it. Look at who Kirk Cousins has to throw to: Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. I mean, there's just a lot more to work with there. And also, Minnesota is hot right now, and they have to win this game in order to still have a shot at the playoffs, still be in the playoff hunt. I just think that they're going to come in this game hungry. I don't think Dalvin Cook's going to play as good as what necessarily Jay was saying because of the defensive line issues, but I think that they can find a way to air it out and just kind of scrap together some points.
Real quick on that, I think we're riding a little high on. They look better than the defense, and I think past years affect us. They're the 22nd rushing defense in the league right now. They're allowing 120 yards a game. I'm not saying that they're a bad defense, but they're allowing their 22nd defense. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you have Dalvin Cook and that Minnesota team who's putting up 160 yards a game rushing, compared to Chicago's 80 yards of rushing. That's the thing right there. They're literally double up their rushing. The Bears are not going to be able to rush the ball. Now, granted, the Vikings defense is crap. So if there is going to be a team that they can rush it on, it would probably be them, which again, it's almost the same thing. They could take the pressure off Foles, allow him to be the manager, allow him to make some play action deep passes if they can get that run game going at the Bears, which they haven't been able to do all season.
But knowing that Minnesota offense is so one-dimensional with mostly just to run the game, don't you think that the Bears' talented defense is going to put together a game plan that
don't you think that the Packers knew that too?
I guess.
I'm just saying, it doesn't mean
I would say there's more talent.
People know that Mahomes is going to do his thing, and what do you do, right?
But I would say there's more talent on the Bears defense than there is in the Packers defense.
Based on what though? They're
no, that's absolutely true. The Packers defense is not.
Khalil Mack.
Well, no. Okay, Khalil Mack for sure, and I think he's great for putting pressure. I don't think he's the greatest necessarily on run stuff, and I don't think he's necessarily the best run stuffer. And again, they're allowing. And they're not facing Dalvin Cook every week, and they're allowing 120 yards a game. Now, clearly, though, like you said, on those other games, you might be focusing on their quarterback a lot more than the running back. And on this, they will be.
Kyle Fuller.
It's true, but it's about game plan, right? And that's the game plan for Minnesota. It's stop the run.
Love what Chris is doing right now. Love what Chris is doing right now.
Robert Quinn. I'm just saying, these are pretty good players.
Pretty good players that aren't performing.
I sound like
you
the
gotta
Levitard
make
show.
Adam Thielen step up.
Stu got strong with you right now, Chris.
Yeah, I sound like the Levitard.
You've been quiet recent weeks.
Hold on, Xavier. I sound like the Levitard show. Just Stu Got's just naming off just players on the schedule
just in the background,
and looking to Dan like, come on. And then,
you can say it all you want.
Come on.
If they're playing like crap, they're playing like crap.
And then Jay's looking at me like, okay, cool. You're just naming names. What is it? You're not making any points at all.
No, I don't know. I think it could be interesting, but like I was saying though, it's kind of like the same thing. Because if the Bears can actually run the ball, then who knows what they can do? Maybe that's been the missing thing for their offense, and they're like 80 yards a game running, and then so that puts it all on Nick Foles, and like, man, I don't know if he's the answer. Like, everybody thinks he's the answer, and they go for him. And I mean, I think he's better than Trubisky, but
See, I don't think so, dude. Nick Foles has been turning the ball over 2 or 3 times a game.
It's true.
Trubisky doesn't do that, man.
So it's Trubisky.
No, Trubisky Mr. Pigsky. Like, I feel like I got to look up a stat. I feel like he was throwing.
Talk about Mr. Pixie. Kirk Cousins.
Can I say one other thing going back to what?
I like Kirk Cousins too.
That's true.
I want to address what Chris said about Cousins having nobody to throw to. Justin Jefferson's gonna be a top 10 receiver.
Adam
No. Stop. That is the opposite of what I said.
I thought you said Cousins.
Literally the opposite of what I said. That's literally the direct opposite of what I said.
He's talking about Foles in the Chicago.
I said Chicago only really has Allen Robinson.
Confused.
And I said, look at the Minnesota offense, and they have all those weapons. And I just started naming off the weapons.
But I'll say, because Thielen and Jefferson have been kind of quiet at recent weeks. Not scoring a lot of touchdowns. Right? But that could be because of Dalvin Cook's increased production.
Because they're riding the run game.
Fun fact.
Yes, exactly. But I think you got to try to take away the run game and put that pressure on the passing game again. That's the only way Chicago's going to win this game.
Fun fact, I played football with Kirk Cousins.
Oh, really? Was he good back then?
I don't remember him.
He went to Zealand.
He went to Zealand. He was No. He went to Holland Christian, but they didn't have a football team yet. So I went to a pretty small school just south of like 6 miles south of where he went to school, and we had a really small, really terrible football team. But they were getting ready to have a football program at Holland Christian. So what they did to prep it is they were like taking all the kids that planned on playing, and then they sent them to join our school. And so they joined our school for a season, or was it 2 seasons? I think it was just a season.
Was that Saugatuck or was that
Saugatuck? No, Saugatuck. Yeah, and so he joined. So he was like a freshman. I was like a junior, senior, something like that. I don't remember the kid at all, but I
good old West Michigan football
at some point.
So for listeners, that's your local Michigan talk for the week. So so there you go, guys.
Saga what? Saga?
Saugatuck.
Saugatuck. That's a fun word to say.
We're not going to talk about Saugatuck on this.
Saga.
Yeah, Saga. It's like this little resort community.
Well, we're gonna stop talking on this podcast, and that'll be.
Wow.
Because I don't know if Lucas just came through with some ladies, so I gotta go.
And
all right,
you can join us for the after hours with Jay.
That's gonna do it for this week on the Magic Hour. Thank you for joining, boys, again for $5 picks. That was a very interesting week. Thank you.
I gotta give you $5 now.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, you have to pay me $5. Thank you for joining $5 picks. I'll be back next week, hopefully with another episode, if not 2 weeks from then. And
$5 picks would be great if you had a Subway $5 footlong sponsorship. You should call somebody.
Exactly. Thanks again, boys. We'll talk.
Thanks. Take care.
Peace.